Welcome back to the Earn by Experience podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Ben Browse. This week we had Jeff Eichelberger on the podcast. Jeff's a local guy, and it was fun to hang out, get to know him, drink a few beers, and just want to say thanks for all the support, the likes, shares, subscribes. It really helps this thing get a little bit bigger. So I want to say a big thank you, and I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude, I'm pumped to meet you. So we got Jeff. What's your last name?
Eichelberger.
Eichelberger.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
I can't spell it on my phone. First time I spelled it, it was just like all over the place.
Oh, really?
No idea how to spell that name. It's wild.
It's a tough one. Takes a while to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I don't know anything about you really, other than just BSing shortly down there.
Yeah.
So what's your background and like where are you from? And you know, I know you're a brand ambassador, or that's your brand, but that's about it. That's all I know.
Right.
So,
Well, let's see. I grew up in Baltimore when I was a kid, Middle River area, White Marsh. And, you know, my dad bought a house on the Eastern Shore when I was probably 6 or 7 years old in Mardella Springs. And he would bring us down here many times, you know, throughout the year. We fixed up this old house on Bridge Street. It's like right in the middle of Bridge Street. And I remember coming down, going fishing down at Barron Creek, you know, and from catching bluegills to getting good at catching catfish and then largemouth bass. But I started loving the Eastern Shore back then. But growing up in Baltimore was really cool. I went to Kenwood High School, played baseball Little League when I was a kid, then got into lacrosse. Went to Salisbury University eventually. And when I went to Salisbury, my dad you know, had the house in Mardella. He said, why don't you live there? So I got to live in Mardella for 4 years, which was really cool. And, you know, backing up a little bit, when I was 12, he bought some property, you know, down around Deal Island. And, you know, we started hunting, duck hunting mainly. And my love for the sport grew. But back then it was tough. You know, we had the old hand-me-downs. Yeah. You know, you had those, you know, old, what were they, like brush pants, you know, and some wool socks. And you're going out there, and it was old school style. You know, you're staying all day, whether you see a duck or not. You know, so you know we stuck with it and did it. And some of those hunts, you know, weren't that great. You didn't see many ducks, but you're out there freezing. But I learned to love the outdoors and hanging out with my family in the outdoors. And my love for the Eastern Shore just grew and grew. So I went to college at Salisbury, and living in Mardella was fun. You know, I met some locals. And sophomore year, I was living with a buddy of mine named Gus, and then we decided it. We'd sit on the porch all the time. We'd say, let's go fishing. Out of nowhere, it's like 10 o'clock at night, so we throw the canoe on a truck and go down the street, you know, and we're throwing this canoe in the water, and there's a guy sitting on a cooler. And, you know, we're like, hey, man, how you doing? We shooting the crap with him for a minute, and we jump in the water, and we're hooping and hollering. We go back. Let's go back and talk to that guy. He seemed pretty cool. So we start talking to this guy, and, you know, he was hanging out, you know, had a couple naturals and introduced himself, and his name was Bill. Next thing you know, we're hanging out like every night of the week on the porch after work, you know, like, what's up? What are we doing? Where we going? You know, so, yeah, I've really had a lot of fun in Mardella. And from there, after, you know, Mardella, I went to finished college and then got married, and there's a whole other story there. But, yeah, I guess you want to know the Ulster story, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of everything, but I know a little bit about how it started, but did it have something to do with like your boys just getting them into the outdoors? I mean, I knew they were in the outdoors, but I'm sure they had an influence on it. But what was your, I guess, goal starting it and where it's been now?
It kind of just started out as a fun thing. So, like, taking over from where I left off with Bill, you know, like, we started hanging out with Bill, and then, you know, another friend of ours, Mike, he introduces us to Mike. Mike comes over. We're hanging out on the porch, and we always went out together, fishing, hunting, you know, just hanging out. And we'd sit on the porch, and after all those events, just tell stories and laugh and cut up and everything. And then, you know, one day, you know, one of us said, you ever heard somebody say "yosser"? You know, like, I don't know, but I kind of like it, you know. And from then on, we just kept saying it, you know, and emphasizing it and say, y'all, it's a fun thing, you know, it's a celebration. It's a celebration of whatever you want it to be, you know what I mean? So, you know, we say it all the time, and that was like back in 90, I don't know, 94, right? So fast forward, the kids are young. You know, I got a video of Colin and Jeffrey sitting on my lap, and they're like, you know, toddlers. And I said something to Colin like, you know, say hi to the video, and he was like, y'all, sir.
That's cool. I thought it was like something that, I don't know, when they were in high school or middle school, like a saying they started saying. So I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And I don't think it's even something that we necessarily came up with. I think it's set on the Eastern Shore in certain places. Sure. You know, we just kind of emphasized it and grew to love it, you know. Yeah. So when people ask me, like, what is it? You know, I say, well, what's the best thing that happened to you today? And they tell me, and I'll say, well, y'all, sir. You know?
That's pretty badass.
Yeah. So, well, I only ever heard of it because of the collab you guys did with the branding logos. So never even knew it existed. So that's killer.
So it started way back then, and for years I'd put a Yalser tag on the white Dodge truck that I drove around, and we moved around the country quite a bit. I was in Baltimore after college, then back on the shore, then Oregon, then Texas, back to Oregon, back to Maryland. Each place I'd get a Yalser tag for the white Dodge, you know, and right now I've got them all hanging up in my house. But we kept it going, just saying it in our family for years, right? And then we got back here, and the kids, you know, Colin started going to Decatur, and he took over the white Dodge and started driving it to school and met a lot of friends, and they're all like saying Yalser and then having a good time with it. But then Colin, you know, had a graduation party, and I bought him some shirts for him and his buddies. It was just the stressed American flag on the back, Yalser on the front. We just gave them out to everybody and all his friends that showed up to the graduation party. Well, then they all started loving it, and people saw them and wanted more shirts and hats, and we just do it for fun. Like right now, we'll get a couple orders a year. I give a lot of stuff away, sell some stuff. But yeah, it's just a fun thing we do on the side. We print stickers, give out stickers. You know, there is a website, but it needs some work. You know, it's launched a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago. My daughter helped me build it. I got to get it updated with some new products, but it's on the Instagram page if anybody wants to check it out. But you can also DM me and, you know, get whatever you want. But when I talk to people about it, the neat thing is we've never really had a negative reaction to it. You know, people are like, wow, that's pretty cool. It's fun. You know, it's a fun thing to do. And one day I hope to do something good with it. You know, like I'm a big proponent of, you know, teaching kids about the outdoors. And with my kids, you know, they grew up in Oregon when they were really young. And then when we moved here, got them right into hunting and fishing because that's what we used to do when we lived here. And their hunts were different than my first hunts. Like I'd take them on these hunts. Their first duck hunt was probably my favorite duck hunt ever. And we went out to Deal Island, and, you know, we're out there with my dad, which was cool. And, you know, here comes a teal. Colin shoots a teal. You know, he's probably like 12 years old. Him and my dad are off in the marsh looking for it. And I'm standing there with Jeffrey, who's probably 9 years old. And here comes the duck flying over. I took a shot. I probably shouldn't have took a shot, but I missed. And then here comes Jeffrey. Boom! Knocks it out of the air, straight down in the water. It lands right by the bank, you know. So he goes over and picks it up. Drake wood duck.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, dude, you guys realize how awesome this is? You know, your first duck hunt, you got a Drake wood duck and, you know, a nice green winged teal. So that was really cool. And over the years, we just kept hunting. And April, my wife, was like, take them every weekend if you want to. It's good for them, you know. So as they grew older, can we take a friend, you know, like, can I bring so-and-so? And I was always like, sure, you know. And some of the kids that we took over the years, I think it teaches them good work ethic, you know, teaches them camaraderie, teamwork. You know, we'll get down there. We have to load up the boat, get the decoys out. You got to brush up your duck blind before you go. It takes the preparation and everything. And the more and more kids do that type of stuff, it keeps them out of the phones and introduces them to the outdoors. And when I think about duck hunting, it's not just about killing birds at all. It's about the whole experience. It's like you get to be with your friends or your family. You get to enjoy the outdoors. You get to put in all the hard work it takes to get to that point, to be out there and hopefully, you know, have a really good hunt, you know.
I love that, dude. One of my, growing up, one of my buddies' dads kind of did that same type of thing, and not in the hunting, but I just got to be part of their family. And it was the most rad thing ever. Like learning from somebody else. It wasn't so much your dad, but you don't realize when you get a little bit older what an impact that has on you as a young boy or young man. That's badass that you took his buddies and like, they may never been exposed to hunting really, or somebody like me that wasn't. That makes a huge impact on somebody else that's not really exposed to that's life. Like outsider looking in, my view. So that's badass. Yeah. I love that.
And my favorite thing to do is take people on their first duck hunt. And when I was in college, I met so many different people, and I said, well, why don't you come out and go hunting with us? And they would go, and even if they didn't have a license, I'd say you can't hold a gun, but you can come out and observe. And they get out there and be like, I got to go get my hunter safety card. Yeah. I got to get a license. I'm all in, And my buddy Justin, he's sitting down at the YMCA with a bunch of 13-year-olds and putting time in to get that safety card so he can go out and go hunting. But it's funny, fast forward, I got a call from a friend of mine named Wayne who I took out years ago, and he's like, Jeff, haven't talked to you in all these years, man, but I just want to let you know. He's like, that made a big impact on my life, and he's like, now I'm the treasurer of Ducks Unlimited out in Western Maryland. I'm like, that's crazy, dude. I love to hear stories like that, but there's a lot of friends of mine that turned into duck hunters, from one trip out there, and I think it's really cool, I just like, sharing that experience with people.
Yeah,
that's badass.
I've had people even come into my store, whether they're getting ready to go deer hunting. I know you don't deer hunt that much, you're more duck hunter, but a couple kids that have come in, they're like, yeah, I'm going with Colin and Jeff. They're taking me out. And they definitely, it was not their first time, but you were the one that got them into it. So it was cool to see that. It's, it's pretty
That's
badass,
awesome.
Man, yeah.
It's great to hear, man. I'm glad kids are doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, I didn't realize the impact it had on me. I had friends that I stayed with their family like in middle school, and they had a lawn care business. And years, go by and you look back, and I'm like, I actually messaged him recently just to say, hey, thank you so much for letting me like spend time with you guys and stay at your house as much as I did. Because at the time he didn't realize the impact it had on me and the things they were teaching me, inadvertently, just me observing what they were doing. It made me into a better person, taught me a lot of things. And hey, outsider looking in, that's one of the best experiences ever. Because it's not like your family too. Like you're getting experience from somebody else's dad and the way that they, everyone's all kinds of kinds out there. So just, I don't know, that makes a huge impact.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It can change somebody's life,
Yeah.
It does. So
and there's,
firsthand.
In the hunting world, it's so kind of like people are within their own egos and they don't want to share their spots. They want to take all the good hunts to themselves. So we need people like that getting people in. I mean, I know my dad has probably helped at least 10 people shoot their first deer with a bow.
Really?
You know what I mean? And like for me, like I got kids, there's only so much time. I'm like, man, for you to do that and go out of your way like you do too. I mean, yeah, the outdoor space needs that. So it's cool, man. It's admirable. So.
Yeah. Even when Billy was here, do you know Billy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in here and he was like, dude, I would love to take you on your first hunt. I'm like, that's so freaking
Me
awesome,
too.
dude.
Me, you and Billy, let's go in Dallas.
Dude,
Did you hear? Hold on. Let me interrupt this real quick. Did you hear? So he's never duck hunted before. So he was explaining. Billy was explaining duck hunting. He's like, yeah, I just pictured it like a bunch of rednecks shooting shit out of the sky. Yeah. And he's like, man, I'm never gonna live that down. And Billy brought it up like 3 times. So we got to get him out there.
Yeah. It was. I shouldn't have said that, but at the same time, I was saying what was on my mind.
No one's gonna give you shit.
No, I know, but I don't want to ever take a dig at duck hunters either. But I'd like to do it and see what it's all about. So,
you gotta come with us, man. We'll take you out. You know what my favorite part is? We load up the boat and we're cruising out, and it's pitch black out there, and it's like you're going out into the middle of nowhere and cruising up these creeks, and we know the creeks. We hunted it 30 some years, but you're looking at the stars, you're seeing shooting stars, and then you get to the spot, you get your decoys out, and hopefully you get through it without arguing about where they go.
The decoy situation.
I don't care about it anymore. I don't put up a fight. I just throw them out there. I'm like, we're going to get them right. Don't worry about it. And then, we got somebody up in the marsh, putting the blind up. And if it all goes right, you're in the blind. There's 15 minutes before shooting time. And that's when you get your stuff together and you say, get right, boys. Yeah. 15 more minutes, we're shooting.
Yeah, what do you I asked this to Billy too, because the way you kind of described that was kind of artistic and methodical. It's so hard for me to explain like the outdoors to someone, but like do you ever explain it to someone that you're trying to get into it, or you just bring them and that's the only way you can explain it to them?
Well, sometimes, if we talk about it, they'll ask, what it's like, what do you do, and I'll give them some details about it, but most of the time it's like, you just got to come out and see for yourself,
Yeah. Have you ever had anyone that you've brought out there and like, yeah, I don't know? Normally not.
I think there's probably been a couple. I can't remember, though, because it's
You
few and
brought so
far
many.
between, like one and done. But mostly, I'd say 98% of the people I've ever taken want to go again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely sweet. And like you said, just the boat ride and everything. It's not even about killing the ducks.
Yeah.
Just driving the boat. It's pretty badass. There's nothing like it.
I've been going out with Gidge for the last several years. He got into it, and he's cooking breakfast burritos by 9, man.
That, man. I need to go with you guys or bring you with me.
He's got a whole system, man.
Yeah.
He'll take a bottle just like this and have the eggs all mixed up. He's got a little package of sausage, and he's got the tortillas. And if we got the little buddy and it's cold, we'll put the tortillas on a little buddy to get them nice and crisp. And he's got 2 pans going, aluminum foil. I mean, it's like gourmet stuff.
Hell yeah.
One year I bought him a bunch of sauces, and I'm like, hey, man, let's try a different sauce every week.
That's badass. Yeah, I was just talking to somebody the other day about the food that you make on like off-roading trips and things, and that's some of the best stuff you ever create. I love it because it's kind of primitive, and I'm like thinking back on some of this stuff. I'm like, dude, we toasted buns with blowtorches and made like meatball subs and stuff, like just out of like melting the cheese and whatnot. So I don't know, some of the food is almost the best part of any of those experiences. I think, and it's the most memorable too. So. I love that stuff, dude.
We took crab soup out there one time, and this was on a spot we hike into the marsh. It's like a 600-yard hike, and we took the thermos full of soup, and we thought shooting time was done. We were having a break, we heated the soup up, and we're all standing there. It was me and my uncle and Gidge, and we got the soup, and we're like, man, this is so cool. We're eating hot crab soup on a cold day, and sitting out here in the middle of the marsh, and all of a sudden this whole flock of mallards comes flying over, and it was like, are you ditching the soup? Or are you shooting the mallard?
I'm ditching the soup.
Are you ditching the soup?
100%. I am.
I sat mine down and got late to my gun and missed the shot. I took a shot. My uncle, he was like, I'm not ditching the soup. He's like, I'm keeping the soup, dude.
I don't know. It depends. It depends on the morning. Nah, I think 9 times.
It was one of them mornings where you wanted to shoot them because there wasn't a whole lot of shooting, so... The soup was really good, though.
Yeah,
it's a tough soup to like throw away.
Yeah, it is. Oh man, I saw one of the things that you're doing with the lacrosse team was cool. You guys give away a hat. I know that was random, but I just thought of it. Getting them involved, that's pretty badass. Like what you're doing with the brand.
Yeah, I love lacrosse.
Y'allser guy of the week or whatever.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
I got in lacrosse a long time ago. My kids played a lot. We went around and toured around, and I still support the high school because I got a lot of friends, kids that are playing. Yeah. But I'd like to support the sport in general. And a couple of years ago, I just reached out to the coach and said, "Hey, do you want some of these Y'allser lacrosse hats? You could do whatever with them if you want, like Player of the Week or whatever."
Yeah, that's badass.
And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So they did it 2 years ago, and then last year. He came back and said, "Hey, can you print up some shirts too?" And they had these cool shirts that said Y'allser, and he had the logo on it, and I gave him some hats too, different color ones, and they were doing Player of the Week, and Decatur had a bang out year, man. Went to states. I watched a few games and got to go to the state championship game, and that's the first time they've been there probably in a really long time. I don't know if they've been there before, but this team was a special group of kids that really kicked ass, and. I was talking to one of the team moms. I'm like, were they all in the locker room saying Y'allser? And they're like, yeah. I hope that's true. I hope they're all like using the Y'allser to drive the vibe,
I'm
kick some ass.
Yeah.
But I mean, score a goal out on the field, man. It's nothing better. Y'allser!
Yeah. I love it.
Shit. Yeah, that's cool. I played baseball, not lacrosse, but a bunch of my buddies did. Riley, actually, he was pretty good. He was on one of the teams that I guess made Bayside, but I don't think they ever have won states. I don't think we have in baseball either.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Crazy. I don't know. It's wild, but the lacrosse team's always good.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's cool, man.
Fun to watch. Sport's great.
Yeah. And big part of brands is, like, getting people involved. Just like that. The local high school community, like, they're probably eating it up.
I know a lot of those kids, and they love it. We hang out whenever I get around to see some of them, and they'll be wearing a Y'allser hat, give them a fist bump, like, yes, sir, Y'allser hot.
That's killer.
That's sweet. So where so 2 sons, and then do you have a daughter too or no?
Yeah, Cass.
Gotcha. I don't know if I ever met her, but your sons. So Colin's here and he's working construction, or is he doing landscaping?
CT Construction.
Gotcha.
So he
That's
does internal remodels.
Yeah.
Like he'll do kitchens, bathrooms, tile work, floors, cabinets. He frames. He does just about everything. Really helped us with our pole barn build and our barn dominium build. And now we're renovating a house in Rumbling. He was working on it today. So
Nice.
he's got a lot of work lined up.
That's
cool.
cool.
So he's doing really good. And, he's very high quality. I've worked with him and gone on some jobs with him and just watched him and didn't say a word. And he was just checking those measurements like 3 times and doing all this cool stuff.
Cool.
I'm like, man, I'm impressed. The first time he did construction, he was 13 and we built a workbench in the shop. And then to look at him now, it's like, wow, that's cool. And Jeffrey's doing welding. He went to school down in Virginia Beach and worked for a company down there for a year and a half. Has done a really good job. He's made some leaning posts for one center console that he just did. He also did one of those trot line arms for a center console. I need him to do work on my boat, to raise up the transom a little bit. So he's got a couple little welders and he's building his welding business. But when he's not fishing, he's fishing.
Yeah,
that's where he's making his money right now, fishing.
That's cool.
Hell yeah.
And Cass does marketing, and she helped me. She built the Yalser webpage. So
nice.
All my kids are doing great, and
That's cool.
I really love them for everything that they do, man. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, your pole barn looks badass. I need to get out there.
You got to come over.
Yeah.
Both of you guys should. Yeah.
How much do you think the influence on like getting them into the outdoors has to do with the person or the people that they are today? Is
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Because
Yeah.
I'm curious on just like raising my kids, how much effect that will have,
I'd say get them out there, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're better hunters and fishermen than I am.
Yeah.
And that's what I told them. I'm like, I want you to be better than me. And last year it was really cool. It was like the culmination of all of it because Colin's like, Dad, you got to go to North Dakota with us.
Yeah. Did you go?
Yeah.
Damn, I've been trying to go there or Canada. I was supposed to go with Sam like 3 years ago, and then he ended up not going. Because if I go, I mean, it's a lot of time. You got to drive out there, which I can't. I don't have the time with the kids and the business. So I was going to fly out and meet him there. But I definitely want to do that. How was that? It was
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was probably the coolest experience of my entire life for duck hunting.
Yeah.
Like Colin, Charlie, Eli, they all drove out there way ahead of time. I think they had 3 days in front of us, and me and Jeffrey flew out for the last 3 or 4 days. And, they had some nice bang-out hunts before we got there. And the problem with the season at the time was we talked to some local farmers, and the ducks hadn't fully pushed down yet.
Mm-hmm.
This was like October, around Halloween, actually.
You went kind of late, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
the
I guess not for this
Yeah,
year.
the season wasn't even full force. So
I'm thinking about Canada, I guess.
Yeah, so the farmers are like, they haven't flew down yet. You got to really look for them, look for the local birds. So we got in a quick hunt. We got there at like 3 o'clock. Colin's like, get your gear on. We're going for a quick afternoon hunt. And there, an afternoon hunt is probably twice as good as most hunts we get here. So we hit a little pothole and killed about 9 birds. And then the next day, we thought we scouted a good spot, but it wasn't so good in the morning, right? And we knew it right away. We probably hunted a half hour, like, let's go get in the truck and scout.
Yeah.
Spent all day scouting, and these boys, just watching them scout was so cool. And they know the area from being there the prior year.
Yeah.
And they got the Onyx out, and they're looking at, where to go and what's legal to shoot and everything. And they're calling hunters. They're knocking on doors. They're doing everything to find a good spot. And it took us until, like, sunset. And we found a hole that had thousands of birds flying over it. And we're like, okay, this is where we're coming back. So, we went back, came back the next day, and it was like one of those shows you get on for, like, you see the ducks coming down. I don't know. We hunted this, I don't know, 1/4 acre small little pothole, and we're sitting there, and they're coming down so fast. It's probably the craziest continuous shooting I've ever seen. And I'm in a perfect spot. They put me right in the middle, and I'm like shooting and shooting and shooting. There's birds landing everywhere, right? Well, I put my gun on a piece of marsh just for a second to take a break. And I look up, and there's a mallard right in my face, like, oh, my God. I'm like, oh, my God, But it was awesome. We had a full limit, it was 30 birds, and then we got all the birds lined out. One widgeon had a band, and then we're cleaning up. And Jeffrey's still down by the water, and here comes a flock of cackling geese, man. Giant flock. He was probably the only one that had his gun out, and he shot 2 of them. One of them had a band. So 2 bands, 2 cacklers, and 30 ducks.
That's cool.
It was cool, man.
That's a good haul.
Big mixed bag too, all kinds of different. We only shot, puddle ducks. It was a good mixed bag. It was pretty cool.
So who's with you? Jeffrey, Colin, Charlie, was Connor
No,
with you?
Eli, Charlie, Jeffrey, Colin. I think that's everybody that was there.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a good time.
That's got to be cool.
Zach
Drive out
and the boys were in a different group. They were up there too. We stayed at this cool little motel. It was a motel.
Nice.
And it had a duck cleaning station outside.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're expecting you guys.
They had a grill too. So all we did was we cooked our own food on the grill. It was a town where there was a very small population, not much there, but it was cool. There was 2 little pubs we went to Friday and Saturday night, and that was cool.
Nice. You throw
like
the All-Star sticker on it?
Oh yeah, they had a guitar sitting in there. Me and Jeffrey walked in this one place, and there was a guitar sitting in there, and we're like, "Wow, man, maybe we can play that. We got to find out whose guitar this is." And we found the guy, and we asked him, "We're like, you mind if we play a couple songs?" And he's like, "Sure, man." It was the first time
Forgot to tell you he plays guitar.
Oh, nice.
First time I ever heard somebody say, "Yeah, you can do it." And this full bar full of people, right? So Jeffrey gets up there and starts doing "Simple Man," and the guy's rig that it was, he came up and he's like, starts singing with them, and they rocked it, man. It was really cool.
Damn, that's sick.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Would you rap or no?
I played one of my Yalser songs, actually.
I didn't know you had a Yalser song.
I got a bunch of them.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wow, that's sick.
That is cool. You wrote your own songs?
I started playing guitar back in college, teaching myself, sitting on that porch in Mardella, and was never really, really good at it. But when I moved away to Oregon, I would sit around and just laugh out of the blue at different stuff. And everybody was like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "I don't know, but I got to write it down so I don't forget." So for each of my crazy friends, I wrote down all these different phrases or things they used to say on separate pages, and just something to remember them by. And then I started getting better at playing chord progressions and stuff like that, and started taking all those different thoughts and putting them into like poetry, which became songs. And then I forced myself to learn how to sing. One day, that was a work-related thing. I was at work, and it was a place where they needed a morale boost, and I had to do something special out of the ordinary because everything was pretty heavy, like a lot of heavy lifting. And I decided I would write a song for this warehouse, and I said it's got to be cool because we're down in Texas and a bunch of cowboys. They don't want to hear me just playing guitar. I'm gonna have to learn how to sing and actually do something real here. So I was living in a hotel at the time because a family hadn't moved down yet. And I used a rhythm of a different song that I was working on for one of my friends, and then I wrote the lyrics to the team, and I had to go in there and give them, some. I think it was a new productivity program or something. I wanted to, I had to do that, and I was like, I wanted to boost their morale before I did that, and I said, I'm here to, introduce this new productivity program, but before we do that, I got something special for you. And I'd snuck in there and put a guitar behind a podium, and I sat down in front of everybody and started playing this song, and they were like, what the heck is he doing?
That has to just lighten the mood. It's kind of like we were talking about with Hunter the other day, how like being a leader, letting them know you're a real person too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they're probably like, okay, this isn't just some asshole trying to tell me about this new product or whatever. He's a real fucking person.
Yeah.
And he's singing a song in front of us that he just wrote for us. Like, okay, we can be ourselves
And it's
now.
relevant
That's,
to what
that's
they're
awesome,
doing.
man.
I started with the third shift because they were probably most upset, disengaged, and there was a group of guys that sat in the back row and just put their head down the whole time, never even look up. Well, after I got into the second verse, they all looked up at me, and after it was over, they all stood up and gave me standing ovation. It was really cool, and I had to do that for all I did it for all the shifts,
That's crazy.
And that was like a game changer. We started like really making some moves after that. They actually listened to what we had to say about productivity and stuff, and the program was built with input from the frontline people, and we started doing some good things. So I mean, as leaders, you do have to like show your human side, and I think people appreciate it.
Yeah.
You kind of come out and out of your comfort zone too to do that.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
gotta
was
be
nervous
awkward,
as
yeah.
hell, man. I was like, I'm going out on a wing here,
Yeah.
and I practiced it a million times so I didn't screw up. I'm like, you just can't screw up here.
That's cool.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you say you're going out of your comfort zone, but you've had a bunch of these different occasions. Like you rapped to Snoop Dogg. You rapped with G Love, like that. Your comfort zone, but it seems like it's kind of in your nature to do that. Can you go through like any of those stories that you?
Yeah, I think a couple years ago I started like I've never been a huge karaoke singer.
Yeah.
But I looked at, the rap part of karaoke thinking that's a challenge, right? Like how can I like learn how to rap a song on karaoke, because I like music. I like guitar. I love rock and roll. I grew up listening to classic rock, grunge. Now I'm into, Tyler Childers, all this different country grit stuff. But I've always liked old school rap too. So, I started rapping, gin and juice and different things like that at karaoke. And I've ran into some crazy situations. Like we were on a trip down in Louisiana, and it was after some meeting I was at, and walking down Bourbon Street, and there's the club. I think it's a Kit Kat Club, and it's a karaoke bar. And went in there and started talking to, the guy that runs the karaoke, and he's like, "Hey, y'all do karaoke?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do a little bit." And he's like, "Well, why don't you sign up?" And buddy was like, "Dude, you got to do it." So I put my name on the board, and there was nobody in there at this time, So I'm sitting around for about an hour and a half, and it comes time for me to go up, and that place is packed, dude. It's like packed. I'm like, holy crap, So I go up there, and they put it on, and I started rapping the song, and everybody was singing along with the chorus. It was wild. It was like, this is cool,
That's sick.
So, yeah, the Snoop Dogg thing. Like, we went down to Virginia Beach with, it was me and my wife went down to meet up with Jeffrey because his truck was breaking down, and we were going to help him find a used truck or something like that. And on the way down, he goes, "Dad, I got you and Mom Snoop Dogg tickets." I didn't even know he surprised us, right? And a side story to this, like April's been into yoga, the last couple years, and she got her yoga certification. It's really cool. Like she's getting ready to start, shore yoga at her farm.
Nice.
And
Cool.
the reason I'm bringing it up is because, she taught me about this idea of manifestation, right? And I realized that I do that sometimes after she told me what it was. And looking back on the Snoop Dogg story, I woke up that morning. I'm like, I'm just going to meet him today. Like, I felt like I was going to meet him. I ain't bullshitting here. I'm like, I'm going to meet Snoop. I'm going to figure out how to meet Snoop. So we walk in there. Jeffrey hung back with his friend. He's waiting for his friends at the fence. And we go through, and we see the sign that says "Meet Wiz Khalifa." And it's a tent, and I went up to him, I'm like, well, what about Snoop? Can you meet Snoop? And they're like, well, there's 5 spots if you want to meet Snoop. And I'm like, I was kind of on the fence about it with April, and she's like, dude, you got to do it. Just freaking do it, right? So sign up. It was 6:30, and they said, come back at 7, and we'll take you in to see him. So I had a half an hour, and in that half an hour, I was thinking to myself, if you're going to hang out with Snoop, you better know what the heck you're going to ask him or talk to him about, because years ago, me and April met Aerosmith, and I was young, and it was like, you get in there, what do you say to these guys? You have no clue what you're saying. So I was kind of thinking about stories or stuff I could talk to him about. I said, just go in there and talk to him like he's one of your friends. So I thought of a couple things to say, and I come back at 7. They're like, Jeff, you're the only one that's doing this. They're like, nobody else is doing it. I don't know if he's going to do it. And I was like, tell him I got to rap for him. So he makes a phone call, and he's like, all right, you're in. So it's just me and Snoop one-on-one. I'm like, this is like a lifetime opportunity, man. Just me and him one-on-one. Yeah. So we go back, and we're waiting outside the dressing room, and there was 2 signs. It was Wiz Khalifa's dressing room, and then next to it was Varsity Room. And I'm like, that's got to be Snoop's room, So he opens the door, and people come out, and then we walk in there, and he said some things to the camera. And, he turns around and starts talking to me. And I'll tell you what, talk about engagement and, being locked in. Like, he was all locked in. That's what I appreciate about him. Like, there was no distraction of any kind. Like, for however long I was in there, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, he was like listening, and I thought that was really cool. So anyway, I told him, I said, I got to tell you, man, when I travel around the country, if I find a karaoke bar, I'm going in there, I'm rapping gin and juice, dude. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, doing this cool. And stuff. And then I did have a rap for him, and I said, I got a rap for you. And he's like, hold on, and he goes over and he turns down the DJ table he had, and it had nothing but a beat. And he looks at me, he's like, all right, lay it on me.
Damn, that's cool. He actually took you serious.
Yeah, so I did this rap. I'm not going to say what it was on here,
yeah,
but
good.
I do this rap, and then he starts laughing. He starts laughing at the lyrics. He's like, did you hear what he said? And he goes, that shit was hard as a motherfucker. And the other guy that he hangs out with, I think it was the guy that rolls his blunts. He's like, "Yeah, that shit was dope, dude."
That's funny.
So we're standing there, and then I said, "Hey, I brought something for you," and I pulled out a Yosser sticker out of my back pocket, and he looked at it, and he said, "Let me see that." And he goes over, turns around, goes to his laptop, he peels it off, and he puts it down to the left of his mouse pad. And while he was doing that, I said, "Snoop, next time you're in Maryland, man, you got to hit me up. We'll go crabbing." And he laughed. He's like, "What do you mean, man? What's that like?" And I'm like, "Well, we run the trot line, and bring the speaker box, bring some natural lights, And he's like,
"What's a natural light?"
He's like, how big's the boat?" And I'm like, 20 feet, dude. So he was cracking up, and then he gave me a Death Row Records chain. And then he pulls out the poster. He's like, "I got to sign your poster." And he writes his name on there, and he writes a Y, and he looks up at me. He's like, "How do you spell it?" Like, I didn't even ask him to write it. And he wrote Yosser on there. And then we got a picture. We talked about the tour and some other things, and that was it. But it was really cool, man.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's cool. Your kid surprised you with the tickets.
I know. Out of nowhere, right?
Dude, that's badass.
Damn, that's crazy. You gotta have some balls to freestyle or rap in front of Snoop. For real. I mean, that's gotta be scary.
Sometimes you just got to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it depends how many natural lights you added you too.
I did not have any, really. I think I had one beer at the hotel, and this was early. And he said normally they don't do that before the show. Yeah, that's probably why they didn't get people to do it, because normally they do it after show, and it sells out quick.
Yeah, what did he say to you? He said his guy that was videoing it for you or whatever was like, yeah, he never spends that much time.
Yeah.
Did he say that?
Yeah, when we were walking out, he's like, "Damn, dude." He was like, "You had him cracking up, man."
That's cool.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Damn, that's sweet.
That is badass.
Yeah.
But then, he put on a great show after that, too. So I found the whole group after that and watched the show, and I was like, man, he still got it. He didn't miss a lyric. It was really good.
Yeah, he's one of those figures that's just like bigger than life. You know what I mean? Everyone's people, right? But I remember I saw him on the Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe Rogan's like, "Man, I don't get nervous for anyone." But he said, "You were probably one of the only people that I can count on my hand that I actually got intimidated to do a podcast with." Really? Joe Rogan said that. Isn't that crazy?
He's not intimidating in person, though. I'll tell you that, man. Yeah. He was so laid back. He's like, "What's up, man?"
Yeah. That's crazy.
Damn, it's nice, though, when people are personable.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're all just real people doing real people stuff. You know, at the end of the day, he's doing the same thing we are, really.
That's right.
So, just famous, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I've not really met any famous artists. The coolest person I met in person was probably John Dudley. When we FaceTimed you.
Yeah.
Are you into archery at all?
Yeah, but I don't know John Dudley.
Yeah, he's a YouTube educator. He gives out free archery videos and stuff. He's an avid hunter and whatnot. So when I got into archery, I found him just figuring out my bow and whatnot. So when I went to TAC last,
which is Total Archery Challenge.
Yeah, the Total Archery Challenge is a 3D shoot in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. It's like a golf course for archery.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
Yeah, you're hiking in the woods and you're shooting 3D targets at various distances. And I've met so many cool people. But anyhow, we're walking through and we make eye contact from across the vendor village, and he looks at me. And then looks at my backpack and sees I have all Easton arrows, and my daughter is right next to me, and she has all Easton arrows, and they're all custom fletched. And he says, "Hey, are you guys going to shoot?" And we're like, "Yeah, dude, we're going to the Cortina Lift right now." And he goes, "Oh, can we film a video with you?" And I'm like, "I'd be honored, dude." Hell yeah. So that was kind of cool. He rode up the lift with us, and we got to BS on a personal level. It's just kind of cool that they're just regular people. And that's one thing I think is cool when you talk to them like they're regular too. Because they're, I could have fanboyed out and been all starstruck, but I was just like, oh, he's just a regular guy. He mows his grass just like I do.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, it was really cool, man. So it's nice when they're just real people.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's probably the biggest person I've met personally. I've not really met any superstars, but.
It's cool though, because we call him Little Dudley. Which because he I don't know.
I'm a huge fan, man. He taught me so many things, literally from step one to all the way to getting a good group. So
I'll have to look him up.
Yeah,
I could use the practice.
Yeah. But dude,
it's insane.
My friend and his wife were in Tortola, which is the British Virgin Islands, for their honeymoon. and he was surfing. It's like Apple Bay in Tortola, and his wife was on the beach, and this guy, the short, stocky, bald guy, comes up to the beach, and his wife's sitting on a lounge chair. He's out surfing, and the guy like looks over and like waves him like hey, because thinking like she's gonna ask for a picture or to say hey, and she didn't realize it was literally Joe Rogan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's my buddy Parker, but he was talking to her later that day and was like, dang, Joe Rogan's in the British Virgin Islands, like right where we are. And he shows her the picture and he's like, I literally saw that guy on the beach today. And he came up, like, he was like, waved at me, because obviously I'm sure wherever he's at, like, he's anticipating someone to be like, hey, can I get a picture or whatever. So she had no idea who Joe Rogan was.
That's crazy.
And literally, like, he was from me to that curtain away, or me to the curtain away, and she didn't even recognize it. How wild is that? That's probably like one of the only people that I would care, like celebrities. You know what I mean? Like you said, they're just all people.
Yeah. The coolest thing is we got to talking, and we were BSing, me and John, and my family was there. And at first, my wife was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, heck yeah." And then so we're up there shooting, and he's videoing, and we're doing some whatever stuff, and we get to BS, and he's asking me about my bow and whatever, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm friends with the local bow shop guy," and he's like, "Oh yeah, let's call him up." He FaceTimes him on my phone to call Dallas, and I was like, "Dude, that's badass. I didn't even think of that." So that was a cool thing. He calls Dallas, and Dallas picks up, and it was funny because I was texting him.
I knew it was happening.
Yeah, but I was like, you'll never guess. I'm freaking shooting with John Dudley, which, like I said, in the grand scheme, he's a big deal to me, but some people would walk by him in the supermarket and not know who he is.
Right, yeah.
So they're, whatever. He's not super famous, but yeah, that was funny. He calls Dallas, and Dallas is, boom, right there. I'm like, oh, nice. He's going to prove that we're out hanging out, So I don't know. It's just funny, but
I tried to hype you up too.
oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
I love those 3D courses. I've never been on one, but I've heard about them.
Yeah, we're all gonna go to TAC next year, I think.
You should jump in on it, man.
Yeah, man.
Dude, it's so
Have
much
you been
fun.
shooting your bow at all or no?
Yeah, I set up a range.
Did you? Damn.
Like
should've brought
50,
it.
50 yards.
Damn. I thought about saying you should bring your bow because he's got a range right there we would have shot before.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if you've been shooting and whatever.
Yeah.
That would have been sweet.
Hunting season starts Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So you got it out into 50?
I'm not real good at 50. I need a bigger target to get it zoned in. My problem is my targets are kind of small.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty good out to 40.
Hell yeah. What kind of, you shoot a fixed sight or are you doing a slider?
Fixed. I got the ones that you set up for me.
I can't remember which one it is. It might be I feel like you had a fixed pin slot. Maybe you just had a
Fixed pins. I don't know.
It
Nothing
doesn't move.
moving.
Okay,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that 3D stuff. I just got a bow a couple years ago, and I'd really not had any experience with it. So I just started finding local events and whatnot. I got good enough here that I was like confident I wasn't going to sling an arrow past a target or something. And then I just found like Winks had one, and there was one at Tuckahoe State Park. Nanacoke had one. I was doing the local 3D shoots, and then I kept hearing this thing, tack, tack, tack. So I looked it up, Total Archery Challenge, and it's in Seven Springs, PA. And I look online, and I'm like, oh, dang, it's like next month. So I didn't really know what to expect, but I guess what I know now is it sells out quickly. Like the day it launches, it's just chaos. Like the website crashes. It's super, super busy. And I ended up finding the tickets for my whole family because they'd been sold, and then people were kind of backing out, and tickets were popping back up. So I was able to get us tickets, and we went and got we stayed at the resort that first year, and we got the view of the practice range, so we could see it waking up, and it was a lot of fun, man. I would highly recommend going. Seven Springs is it's one of the bigger events too for the actual challenge, where like the vendor village has like all the big players, like all the people in the industry are there. So
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
but yeah, you kind of pick your courses and 25, 30 targets, but it's a hiking thing too. So you're out there, and some of those where you're like you're going down like a hill backwards with a rope, and you're holding your bow, and it's pretty physically challenging.
That's
too.
serious
So,
right there.
Yeah, it's fun, man.
I think I got some. Yeah.
But I'll take it. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely fun, and it kind of pushes you outside your boundaries. It forced me to shoot 100 plus, which I was. But the first time I slung one at 100, I was like, "There's no way it's gonna go." I'm at 70 and 80, and I was like, "Well, you know what? I'm just gonna start doing it until I get good at it. So I'll wreck some arrows or lose them, but that's what it takes, man. So I was able to get to 115 out of my bow.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever taken a 100-yard shot. I'd like to learn how to do
I
that.
feel like 80 plus is when the most gratifying flight process is.
Oh yeah.
Like you can just like 60, yeah, you get that like little pause in it, but once you get to 80 plus, it's just different. I feel like you shoot and you can almost like let your bow down. It's like,
I was gonna say it takes a while for it to
Little
get
Robin
there
Hood.
too.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm good at it 115, but I can definitely send them in there. And then you get there, and I practice here where it's flat. So you get there and you're shooting 100 uphill, which changes everything. Or the target might be down, and then it really forces your hand to learn about like obstructions and things that might be in the way, or the target's just underneath like a tree that's fallen down, and they set it there strategically. So you have to aim at the tree and just know that your arrow is going to go skirting over it into the target.
Wow.
So, yeah, it definitely makes you a more skilled archer when you leave there.
That sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, but the local ones are fun too, man. I've had a lot of fun, and I've met some cool people at the local ones too. First time I went, I met this guy, and older guy, and he was asking me, he's like, hey, how long you been shooting, blah, 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 because he'd never seen me at any of those events. So I said, man, well, I'll be honest with you, I just got my bow. I'm just getting outside, checking stuff out. And he said, all right, well, cool, you should shoot with me. And we ended up, he was totally impressed. I wasn't breaking any records, but he was like, man, for a first-year archer, I'd love to shoot with you at more of these events. Because I guess they do some of those events where they'll put money up and, all that stuff. So I ended up meeting him at all the other local events, and, man, we had a good time shooting. So, and I met other people. Actually, one guy was a hunter, big-time hunter. He's been hunting since the 50s and 60s, older guy. But he was out in North Dakota shooting whitetail. So it's kind of cool the people you meet.
How do you find out about where all these events are?
Usually just Facebook for the local ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just looked up Total Archery Challenge.
They got a whole event.
Yeah, they're all over the place. Like we could travel to Big Sky. You can go to Wyoming. They have them all over the United States.
You might be freaking traveling for work, and one might be like 30 minutes from you. You never know.
They're badass, and I think
Maybe sweet.
When you go there, everyone's like-minded. They're all hunters, and they're brushing up on their skills just like you are. But the cool thing was I actually went on a course solo, and my wife had my kids that afternoon. We didn't quite get the right tickets. So, like, we picked up the remnant tickets, so I went on a solo one. And I ended up meeting these dudes, and they actually invited me on a bear hunt in, like, Western PA.
That's cool.
So it was the coolest thing ever, man. And everyone's, like, networking because, and actually they're going to come down here in October, and they're going to sick a deer hunt.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, man. I'm like, well, I don't know anything about it. I only went last year with Dallas, but I was like, I can run us out there in my truck, and we can e-scout, and I can help find a spot. So I think
That's
it's
what I
kind of networking and local, not local, but just circling, and who knows, I might go on another bear hunt with them.
That's the way it works, man. You take somebody hunting, then all of a sudden they're inviting you on a bear hunt. I mean, how cool is that?
I had no idea. I'm like, dude, at first I was like, dude, these people might want to kill me, man. I don't know. Like, it's not very often you get invited to do a bear hunt. So, but no, they're the coolest people ever. So I love that stuff, man. And if I can bring them down here and put them at my house and take them out even fishing, I mean, it'd be October, but I don't know how it'll work out. But
Yeah.
the experiences that they'll have here might be fun too. So I'm excited about it.
It's cool how that works. Like, people that don't hunt, they don't understand. They're like, "Are you hang out in a duck blind with this person? Like, what do you talk about?" Or like, you're only hanging out with them when you're hunting. I'm like, the bond and the experience, like hunting, is completely different than anything else.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's definitely a
Yeah.
lot different. So it's cool.
The bear hunt was killer. It was actually like a group hunt. We did a drive, which there's some people that are against it and some are for it. It was fun. It was definitely an experience, but it was cool. We went in these mountains, man. We're on these side by sides, and I'm like, dude, if I would have known this, I would have pulled that buggy up there, dude. I got 3 of us in that thing, and I just think it's cool because it kind of like intersects with off-roading too, in some of those areas. So like, you have a flat tire, and you got to, already the skill set that I don't know, it all combines into that I don't know, like
Off-road trail.
yeah, but it
camp.
all combines at some
Yeah.
point. Like, it all intersected, and like it was like cool. So
It sounds like a blast to me, man. You're in the 4-wheeler hunting.
yeah, we were
Let's
side by
go.
sides. So those things are badass. You ever had one of those?
Yeah, I got one at the house.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah. Can I go bear hunting? I'll bring her.
I don't know. They probably wouldn't mind, dude. Honestly.
Oh, shit.
I'm just kidding.
You guys going to North Dakota again this year?
I don't know if I'm going on any trips this year. Colin's talking about going to Canada. They might
That's
go
cool.
to Canada, but he's going somewhere. I'm kind of on the fence. I've just got a lot going on this year, but next year I think I'm going to be back in on a trip.
Nice.
When you guys go up there, is it DIY or?
Yeah, Colin and Charlie and all them, they took a truck full of decoys, all the gear, took our guns, and they're searching around, scouting, putting the stuff out. Having a dog would be nice, or having a small little canoe would be nice. Those are the two things that we learned. We had to hunt really small potholes because we had to be able to walk across and get all the birds. And the mud down there is a little bit different than what we have here. It's a little bit stickier, so you don't want to be walking long distances in it. But yeah, I think we would probably take some type of canoe or something if we went back.
Yeah, is it like public land or how's it work?
Well, you look on Onyx, and there's rules in North Dakota, and they know them better than me. But if the property's not marked, you're allowed to hunt it. So it could be private property, and then on Onyx, it'll show you, property that's posted and stuff like that. So the app helps, but then you go look at the four corners of the property lines and see if it's got any signs. So a couple things you can look for to figure out if you're legal or not.
That's cool. What determines whether or not a pond or something has any activity? Just scouting it and seeing it?
Looking at it. Yeah, you go out there and you look for birds, sit there for a while, see if the birds are going in. Sometimes we'll sit there for an hour, half an hour, whatever. Yep.
Hell yeah.
But that's what I loved about it, seeing my kids do that.
It's probably cool. Rewarding. It's kind of crazy. Like Billy was talking the other day, a lot of people literally go to Canada and then they don't hunt back here. Like, they'll go to Canada 1 week. Obviously, I know you and your boys aren't like that. Like, you're ate up with it. But,
They get spoiled?
Yeah, Billy was saying he has friends, and I know a lot of people that do it. They'll literally go to Canada, and then they might hunt, like, once or twice back here. Because you get so spoiled, and the hunts are so good. It's just, like, another level.
It's true. I've heard that. You get that, and then you'll go out on the days where the weather give you good opportunity here. When it used to be, you go out every weekend regardless.
Yeah.
I still try to go out. I still try to go out as much as possible, but I do like those hunts, where you can just plan for the good weather hunts. Ducks are going to be there. As I get older, I'm thinking, I don't know if I got it in me to go every single day like I used to, but I still enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, we had a pretty good winter this year. I think it looked like we had more birds than we actually did, just because the ice concentrated them in one area. But obviously that freeze helped.
What do you think this winter's going to be like?
Oh, I don't know. The meteorologist can't even get the freaking rain right tomorrow.
You know what Mardell Bill used to say? He's like, it's going to be a cold winter. I'm like, how do you know? You go Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah.
You ever read that?
Well,
Farmer's
it's supposed
Almanac?
to be a cold Farmer's Almanac is what I just heard.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never read the Farmer's Almanac, but I need to start reading it so I know what kind of winter it's going to be.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't canceled that. Like, when a cold winter comes out, global warming fanatics are probably like, no, that's not right.
Well, based on the weather we've been having, I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell if it's a false fall or if it's just going to be like this leading in, like an early fall, with the leaves falling and whatnot and the temperatures dropping. But
the worst would be if we're cool weather now, and then November hits, and it's like 65 degrees all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, it's terrible. Yeah. That's probably what's going to happen.
I wish we could just get some rain.
Yeah.
Did you ever
it's
get your
supposed
food
to rain
plot
this
in?
weekend. You mean Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never planted mine yet. I tilled
he
it,
did.
but I'm like, I'm waiting for rain. I'm like, it's too big to.
It might rain Saturday.
Yeah, I'm looking at the radar every day. I'm like,
small chance.
Was it like 5 years ago, and it was a really cold November? I remember a hunt, and there was like, we were on this pond, and here come all these gadwalls and widgeons, and I ain't seen nothing like that since, man. It was like one of the most awesome hunts I've been on.
Yeah.
That first volley was like almost a limit for two guys, I think we were sick of deer hunting the day before and around that pond, and we're looking in there seeing all these ducks going, and we're like, man, we got to come back. We got to go duck hunting. They're here.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't duck hunt until the third split unless someone's got a lot of birds. It's hard for me to leave the deer woods. But how much different is it now from like when you were duck hunting back in the day? Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it used to be way better. And I know the sick deer population, not the population, but people pressuring them or hunting them so much, it's not as good as it used to be. But what do you think about the ducks? Like, do you see a big difference? Do you think people just want to bitch to bitch?
Yeah, I don't see that big of a difference, man. When I was a kid, you'd hear the stories about the 70s, and how good it was back then, but I can't say there's a real significant difference from the 90s, the late 80s and 90s to what it is now. You know what I mean? There's been good days and bad, and just about every year you go. I mean, I can't say that we've lost ducks or something like that. I think the population's still stable, you know?
Yeah, I've listened to some other podcasts that are talking about duck hunting and stuff, like Arkansas and like some of those other states I guess are pretty big with those. Is there certain areas that you guys ever frequent other than North Dakota? Like, I guess they fly in a path across the United States. Like, I don't know anything about it.
There's a bunch of different flyways.
Okay.
But I've been to Arkansas before.
Is that a hot spot?
They got flooded timber and they got a lot of rice fields. The only problem is it's like different. Like, I went there once and we got there and I knew nothing about like the difference in Arkansas to here. Here, we want it to freeze and we want cold weather. Like, we don't have the vegetation for ducks, especially on the marsh and stuff around here, like a lot of other places, to where they like to come to unless the weather's right. So there, the weather was really cold. I'm like, damn, this is going to be badass. And they're like, no, this is terrible. Like, all the rice fields and the impoundments freeze up and the ducks are...
My uncle hunts in East Texas, and they hunt on bayous, like little offshoots of the bayous and stuff. And I've been hunting with them down there a couple times, and it's all about water level down there. But that flyway is a good flyway for most years. Like, he's getting... Most years that I've, shared data with him, he's like getting tons of ducks.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's really cool to go down there on a good day. Early season, like blue-winged teal, green-winged teal, and they get a lot of different ducks, but it's all about the water levels and how much water they got. It's different from up here. If they don't have water, they don't have birds.
That's neat.
I went on a cool gator hunt with him one time, man.
Did you?
It was pretty awesome. Yeah. It was in September, and he had a tag, and he went out Friday night and we set it all up. And the way it works is they got this pole, and they got this rope, and they tie a rope to the end of the pole with a rubber band so it can pop off. And the higher you hang that hook above the water, the bigger the gator. So only the little ones can't get that high. And this was like a 30-inch set. And you tie that rope to a tree or some type of anchor in the woods. Well, he's putting, like big redfish heads on there, livers, chicken livers and all kinds of stuff that's going to, attract this gator in. So then we go back to the house, have some beer and go to bed and sleep in, right? Next morning we get up and we're cruising out there, and it's so cool, man. They got those mud motors and they can plow through those lily pads, no problem. We're plowing through lily pads, and we get up there and the line was down. And he starts pulling in this line, and it's really just like a drag, a dead weight. We're worried that the gator died or something, and he's pulling it in, and there's all these lily pads around, so he's raking them off, and it gets up. And I had a lever action, like 44 or something. I was holding up.
Shoot him.
Yeah, it's just like
Shoot
that.
him a little bit, shoot him.
It's just like that. So I'm waiting, and he gets it all the way up to the boat. And all of a sudden, that gator's head must have came out of the water, and he's seen something, and he started going nuts, man. It was just like, that show on TV, right?
yeah.
Going
Small
nuts. And I'm like, holy crap, like, where's his head? I know I got to
So
shoot
it's real. It's not like we're watching on TV. They're not making it dramatic.
I know I got to shoot him behind the eyes, right? But his head wouldn't come out of the water.
Yeah.
And somebody took a video of it, and it was a minute and 26 seconds before his head first came up. And as soon as it came up, I got a good shot on him. It was a 8-foot gator. It was pretty cool.
Damn, that's badass.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. Talk about adrenaline, dude.
I bet.
We pulled him in the boat, and then we went and, we had a couple kids with us, pulled up a couple other gators, and they shot them. They were a little smaller, and then we took it to a processor and got the meat, and it was pretty awesome, pretty cool.
You ever have, I'm guessing you guys did, but gator nuggets, have you?
Yeah.
Or like gator, whatever they're called, bites. I don't
Tastes
know.
like chicken.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I
really
was going
good.
to say. I've heard. That's all I've always heard.
That's good.
Tastes like
The texture is a little different, but
Yeah.
it does taste like chicken.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that's something I don't even think about. Got to try to do a gator hunt one of these days. That sounds badass, dude.
Yeah, all the meat comes from the tail, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
No
where the meat
kidding.
comes from. Yeah.
No back straps on them things.
No back
They're
straps.
probably too tough. That's like where they need all their armor, I guess.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They're making stuff out of the hides, like boots and all kinds of stuff, man. It was pretty cool.
That's wild. Now, do they bring it in and wrap the nose, or like were they, I guess, like lenient with it? They just threw it in. They're like, it's all good.
No, you
Or-
wrap that nose, dude. You don't know.
I was about to say, because I could see people I grew up like hunting with or something. They'd be like, screw it, just throw it in. You know what I mean?
No,
Just
they wrap it right away, man. 'Cause you never know. They've said their stories of them things. You think they're dead and they're not.
And where are you gonna go? Out of the boat? And then what if it jumps? And then there's another one. Like, where are you going?
Yeah,
I guess up on the
yeah. You gotta wrap.
See?
You gotta wrap that nose, man.
sketchy.
Yeah. I didn't even think about a gator hunt, dude. That's got to be freaking rush.
I don't know. Yeah,
I would 100% sign up to do that.
yeah. I don't know if I'd ever like fly down to Florida, like pay for one or something like that. But if I had a buddy, I probably would.
Yeah.
And it's good to know somebody.
Yeah.
Some of those hunts are expensive, but
Yeah.
you gotta find a good place. It's not too crazy.
Yeah, I've been seeing iguana hunts in Florida are getting pretty popular.
It's just crazy.
Dude, and it's like duck hunting for us up here. They're shooting iguanas and using dogs to go get them and stuff. Have you seen that?
I didn't see
Yeah,
the dog
I've
part.
seen some
That's
YouTube
wild.
videos on that. Like
Yeah.
people just going out. I'm like, is that legal? They're killing iguanas.
I
Yeah.
guess they're so
Invasive?
populated, and
Yeah.
invasive there that they have to. Yeah, I think that's freaking cool. That and pythons too.
That shit's
I wouldn't
crazy,
mess with any of
man.
those,
No.
but yeah.
Dude,
I'm not a snake guy. I had to wrangle a snake the other day in my house.
Did you really?
Wrangle. I'm literally walking out. It was actually when we're going to my shop for one of the workouts. So it was like 5:30 in the morning. I'm walking down the steps, and it's literally coiled up in the railing there. And I had the Ring camera, and I like back up like this. I'm like, whoa. So I grab one of my son's like little, I don't know, one of those little garden tools, and I grab it and I act like I'm a freaking snake wrangler and shit. But it's funny.
Or
like,
this little black snake.
yeah, I literally almost stepped on a rattlesnake in South Dakota. Like my foot was probably 3 inches from it. And it was so close. I didn't even have to see it. I just heard the.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was that bad. But anyway, so like seeing one of them back in the day, would have never like scooped it up, carried it over to the other like empty lot across the street. I would have just killed it. But now I'm like, black snakes kill rodents.
toads.
Like they're great for what we have, but that rattlesnake like made me realize, dude, that's a rattlesnake. That can actually, that's just a black snake, dude.
Yeah.
But before, a lot of people are terrified. I'm not a big snake person, but having that perspective from going from a rattlesnake almost stepping on it to that, I'm like, that's not a big deal.
Me and Jeffrey turned this John boat over the other day. You know, it was like the bottom side up. We turned it over because we were looking at the welding project we got to do for it. And sure enough, he's like, Dad, there's a snake. And it was hanging out like under the seat a little bit. And he's like, take a video for Uncle Gus. Because my buddy, you know, he's totally horrified of snakes. If he saw that a snake, this thing slithered up under the John boat seat. And I was like, I should have got it. I couldn't get the phone out of my pocket quick enough, but I would have said, hey, man, we're taking this boat out this year, man. You ready? You know, he'd be like, I ain't getting in that boat.
So you didn't find it? It's just under there?
It's under there, yeah. It's still under there. It could be there.
Man, we had a situation like that. I had to be young, like maybe 8, and we were going down to the Outer Banks, and my dad had this old Suburban, and the dash had like the vents or the speaker or whatever holes, and it was kind of tore up, so there was a hole there. And all of a sudden, it's like late at night, we're almost there, and I just hear him go, everyone get out of the car. He pulling over. He's like, we're pulling over. Everyone get out, get out, get out. I'm like, what the hell's going on? A freaking snake popped out of his dash and is staring at him.
Oh my goodness.
And literally just staring at him. He's like, what the hell? I guess he left the windows down next to our old house in this empty lot where he parked it and crawled in there.
Damn.
But I don't know. That's wild.
You're getting me thinking, dude. You know what's funny is my Jeep sits doorless and it's wide open all summer long. And I just found there was a bird's nest in it the other day, and I think birds or snakes like eggs and stuff.
Oh,
don't
yeah,
they?
they're all in there, dude.
You just unlocked a new fear.
Could you imagine? Like, I don't
Dude,
know.
shit. I'd jump out. I'd literally just, boop, he's gone.
Yeah, but you got to keep your composure.
I remember we were working on a deer stand, and we're walking down, you know, this trail. It was me and Bill, and he's like this big, tough dude, right? And he's up in front of me, and I see him hopping around like, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, it's a snake. And, you know, in the fall, it gets cold. They just get, you know, like they're balled up. They ain't moving. Like he almost stepped on it. It wasn't moving. He almost stepped on it. I'm like, I never seen you jump like that, you know?
Turned into an athlete that day. He was at the combine.
It was hilarious. So then another story that cracks me up about him getting scared was we were out in the canoe out in Barron Creek one night. We were at nighttime. We were night fishing. And it was when the shad were running, man. And we're just paddling along, and I hear him go, ah, ah. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, shad just jumped out and hit me right in the back. It was like jumping in the boat. Like they were running so hard, it just jumped in the boat.
That's crazy.
And I never heard him scream so loud. It was hilarious.
That's funny.
We had a scenario, not really like that. Like we weren't scared. We were actually running through them. But we were hunting this year, and there's so many snow geese. Me and my buddy Bobby and Zach. There's so many snow geese on the body of water we were at, and we're running through it. And he literally catches one in his hand. He ends up letting go of it, but they were so thick, they were just everywhere, and they weren't like late to get up. And he literally grabbed one and caught it. He obviously let go, but yeah, it was wild.
That's cool. You said you have a John boat. What are you going to do to it? So you're going to do a little project to it.
We got to fix the transom. We got a longer motor. It's like a 16-inch transom, so we're going to raise it up to 4 more inches. But we got this cool little spot. So this property we've been hunting for years was nothing but woods years ago with an old road on the Platte that had been grown over. And it was always our lifetime dream to like fix it up, get the road, reestablished, and put a walkway or something where we can get through the mud easy. But it took many years, and we did a lot of work details. And that's the other thing I like about hunting is like the work details, because that's a fun thing you can do to prepare for the next season or whatever. But we've put so much time and effort into the road, and we got some storage shacks, and we've got boat launches and things like that. So now you can get down there and get out pretty easy. But we've got an old John boat that we've been using, and we had to upgrade the motor. And then somebody else was getting rid of a John boat, so we got a second one. So now we're going to have two boats, 2 motors ready to go.
That's cool.
You use little gas motors or what?
Yeah, little like 15 horsepowers.
Nice.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Did you see that that little canoe on the side of the hanging up out here?
I don't think
when you
so.
walked in.
I haven't even seen it.
You didn't see it hanging out? Mm-mm. Oh, there's it's a bathtub racer.
Oh, really?
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've asked you about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The banana boat.
Yeah. We did it for the town of Berlin one year. We just made it. I wanted to make it for this, but it had to be aluminum because I wanted to powder coat it. And I welded like a back to it for a seat, whatever. So my buddy's looking at the other half of the canoe, and he's like, "What are you gonna do with it?" And I'm like, "I don't know, dude. I was gonna give it to like a kayak rental place or something. They could set it on the ground. It looked like it's halfway buried, And he goes, dude, you gotta put a transom on the back of that thing and use it for fishing or something. So anyhow, I was just curious what you're gonna do with yours. I ended up doing it. So that like 2 days later, I built like a little transom, and I just used some scrap aluminum I had. I'm not a terrible TIG welder, but I glued this thing together and I made it like 2 inches thick so I could clamp a little trolling motor to it. And we ended up taking it. I welded it that night, and we put a little electric trolling motor on it. And we took 2 batteries, and we went to the Bishopville boat ramp with it. So,
did you catch anything?
We caught a buzz. all we brought was a cooler full of beer.
I need to check this thing out. Maybe I have to put a Yalser sticker on.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I was just curious about the boat because the aluminum and stuff. I figured it's an aluminum project. So
yeah, that's cool,
with
man.
Your boy welding and whatnot. So that was cool. That was a lot of fun, man. My buddy was like, we welded it, got it all done, and it's still hot. And he's like, I'm ready to throw it in the golf cart and go out to the bay, because the bay's only right out here. He's like, do you think you want to water test it? And I'm like, no, dude, I'm good. So we throw water in it with a garden hose just to see, and it was everything but my welds. Like all the rivets were all leaking and all that. So we're out there. The rubber gasketed pole building screws.
Yeah.
So everywhere it's leaking at, I'm just taking the impact and I'm just ramming screws in it with those gaskets on it. It's just enough to close it up to where we could go out.
That's
so
fun.
Yeah, that stuff was fun, dude. Yeah, one of those stories though that like at the time, I don't know, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Mm-hmm. So, and it was one of those epic stories. But I love that stuff, man. Those little boats they're fun.
Yeah,
So.
I think it's the boat of the Eastern Shore's John boat.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, when I was, like, coming up with the collab with him, I was talking to him. I was like, man, I think we got to put a John boat on there. I think that's That's like the yacht of the Eastern Shore.
Oh, yeah.
Is what I would call it.
Yeah.
I wish I had that on the yacht of the Eastern Shore.
Yeah.
It's all you need, man.
It
Crabbing,
really is.
fishing, hunting, swimming, sandbarring.
So versatile.
Dude, I remember that video you guys. It was you on the video, right? You guys did a little
Yeah.
video with the shirt. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. It's all coming back now.
Yeah.
That was a cool boat. Was it yours, wasn't it, or was it yours?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was just a John
Graphic.
boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
they're
it's
sweet.
probably more like his, honestly. I mean, mine's a John boat, but it's a little different.
Yeah, I got a
Yeah.
John boat because of him.
Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a little dinky.
It's
20
not
footer.
dinky.
Yeah, dude.
He always says that shit. He's like, oh, it's just a little this. I'm like nothing you do is dinky.
I call it
Look where we're
dinky.
at right now.
It's got really low gunnels. Like at some point, I wish I could like make the gunnels bigger. That's my only fear is it sits super low in the water. But
I mean, you can't run in that thing if it's too choppy anyways, so
Yeah.
you're not ever going to get to that. Like, if you're running to where that becomes a problem, you're pretty screwed anyways,
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm getting at. Because the bay gets too big and you shouldn't be there regardless.
yeah, well, I've
It's not
actually
gonna
taken it out. One night we were just hanging out, and I was like, dude, I want to go on my boat. It's middle of, I guess it was probably middle of August. We were flying across the thoroughfare, no problem, man, just cruising. We get to Ocean City, cruise around. We go by the 50 bridge and come around Stinky Pete's, whatever. Next thing you know, the wind picks up. And I was like, damn, this is gnarly. So around the thoroughfare we get around to the thoroughfare area.
Are you
and
coming
it's-
from the south or from Ocean Ponds?
No, we're coming from the south.
From
So,
the bridge?
Yeah,
Okay.
back from Sneaky Pete's area.
Oh, sorry.
And we're cruising back. We get to the thoroughfare, and it's dark, so we can't see the waves. But I guess the wind had picked up so much that, dude, all of a sudden it was a bad deal. Not fun coming home. And I was like, dude, that's what always makes me nervous about that little thing. So I call it little, but it's okay.
Well, no, I didn't say it's not little.
Yeah.
Like it's a 20-footer.
But I always
you
worry
called
about
it
those low gunnels.
rinky dinky or something. I'm like, dude, it's got a jack plate. It's got the turf shit on it. Like, it's badass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's my only complaint with like my John boat. It's badass. I can do everything I need to hunting wise around here. I can go to the sandbar, but man, it'd be cool to have a boat to run out to the wrecks or go to the tunnel and cobia fish.
Oh, yeah.
Like
that's what
one
friends
day
are for.
when I have excess funds, that's what
I'm
one of my
dreaming of
goals.
too, man. Because my buddy's got a Parker 25-foot pilot house,
Yeah.
2 motors, and I just jump on that, man. We'll go cruise down to Cape Charles.
That's cool.
We got an Airbnb down there. Went fishing for like 4 days, 5 days or something. It was awesome, man.
Nice.
And we're like sight fishing for cobia or anchoring up and throwing rods out for cobia, like cobia fishing. You ever do that?
Yeah, how much better? We actually caught 2 off of Ocean City this year. But the one was close. It wasn't a keeper. But how much better is sight fishing? Like, me personally, I'd rather sight fish even if I don't catch it.
Yeah, it's awesome because
Like,
you're
it's just-
cruising around,
And
man.
you're engaged. Like, that's how I am with any type of fishing. Like, I mean, I know flounder fishing, but you're still drifting. You're still doing a little bit, But the sight fishing is just cool.
I'm kind of learning, the
Yeah.
cobia sight fishing. I've been out with guides and, they've casted, and then I casted the first time last year into a bait ball and got one.
Yeah.
And this last trip, I was up there for one day, like just steady looking, and I started seeing what I needed to see.
Yeah.
So now it's like honing in on, getting the right cast in the right spot.
Yeah, I'm not. It's like
You got to work to get
they're
good
coming
at that
here
stuff, man.
and your brain just goes all over the place. You think you would just be able to, okay, I see them running, but your boat's cruising. They're coming this way. By the time you go to throw it, it's like they're already gone.
Yeah.
Or you throw behind them and you only get one cast at them. You know what I mean? So you'd think it'd be easy, but it's unless you do it a lot.
So
Which I
I've
haven't.
never been cobia fishing. So you see a school of them and you
They
chase
sit
it
on the
down
top-
or what?
They sit on the top and just cruise along, and you're basically just cruising along trying to sight fish them. You're either on a tower or like we've ratchet strapped a ladder on the front of our boat and stuff. But a lot of people, like the times I've went, bringing like live eels and stuff, you can pitch to them like near where they're at if they go away, if you don't get them on a big paddle tail or something. But
Is that why you see like tuna tower looking things on
Yeah.
smaller boats?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to
Cobia
say, there's
fishing.
no way some of those boats I see with those
No,
towers
they're
are
sight-
going out.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
But,
cool.
yeah.
Well, I just learned something.
One of the craziest trips I went on down in Virginia Beach with Josh Bourne, wingman. we were coming out of the harbor, and for fun, we were catching mackerel and trolling rigs, and we're just throwing them in the cooler, and then we get out to like the mouth of the bay area, and he's up there looking around. There's like thousands of stingrays, and he's like, "This is good, man.
Gotta be cobia.
It's a cobia. Follow them. They eat the babies that come out or whatever." And we're looking around, and we caught 2 nice cobias after a couple hours. They weren't monsters. One was really nice. The other one was okay. And then he's like, "Let's go up by the tunnel. We're gonna do some fishing up there." I think it was I don't know, spadefish or something like that we were fishing for. So he was chumming, and we got rods in and stuff, and we're just hanging out, chilling. And he gets a call from one of his buddies, like, "Dude, school reds." He's like, reel them up. So we're hauling ass back to this big school bull reds. And, he puts the brakes on, like, halfway there. We're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "There's a cobia." And he, like, casts out there and hooks into this other cobia and hands it down to, Kaylee's dad. Dave reels this monster cobia in, right? Couldn't keep it because we already had 2 in the box. Throw it back. All right, reel it up. Let's go. Haul out there. Run into this school, man. I've never seen anything like it. School bull reds. You ever see a school bull reds? Their heads coming out of the water. It's the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah, at the tunnel, actually. It's like golden, reddish water. It's kind of crazy.
You can see their heads. They're just like pushing forward. And we casted, we had the rods rigged up with those fluorescent bucktails and cast them out. There was 4 or 5 of us on at one time, and you're passing rods over each other and turning around, going nuts. And, we got them all in. They were all citation size redfish. I mean, that's monsters. Cool. We measured them, took pictures, threw them back. And we're riding in that day, and my uncle was with us, and I'm like, "Dude, I feel like I just won the lottery." That's a fishing trip of a lifetime, Yeah.
That's cool, man. Like, experiences like that just mean more than a lot. It's just irreplaceable.
There's a picture of me holding this big red, and Colin was fighting one, like, right behind me.
Yeah.
I think I said, "Colin, turn your head real quick," and he's got this rod bent back like this,
that's cool.
And I'm holding it up, and it was like one of my favorite pictures of me and my kids
awesome.
fishing,
That is cool. Yeah, I've never been down to Virginia to do any fishing. When we were talking to Hunter, he was on here. He was telling us all about cobia and whatnot. And I'm like, man, that's cool. It's something I don't think about too much.
It's right there, too. Yeah.
Virginia Beach, man. I love it. It's like, you talk about aquatic life. Mm-hmm. It's like alive. The bay is alive in Virginia Beach, man.
That's what's cool. Like, we have the white marlin capital of the world, but, like, only so many people can do that, right? You have to have the funds or a friend or a boat, you know what I mean, that you can get out there. Whereas, like, the tunnel, I mean, all you got to do is go right there. You really don't have to have that big of a boat. You can wait for a calm day. I mean, I've been with my buddy Bobby, and we've ratchet strapped an 8-foot ladder on his 20-foot john boat.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see him
and
out
I've
there
done
all
on
the
my
time.
brother's boat, too. Yeah. It's crazy. So you can get it done there, I'm saying, way easier. It's more practical for the average person. Mm-hmm. Whereas here, obviously, we have the big offshore lifestyle.
Yeah.
But only so many people can do that. So that, Virginia Beach and that whole area is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. Chesapeake Bay's got some nice hidden treasures, man. Yeah. Get out there and find them. They're all over the place.
You guys fish on your property? Like, is there fish anywhere?
Which property?
In that area? The one in...
Oh, yeah, where our duck hunting property is? Yeah, it's back on the creek, so you get a lot of white perch. But this year, we took my nephew out there, and he caught a puppy drum.
Did he? That's what I was going to ask.
I was like, dude, I've never caught a puppy drum out here.
I went to Flagler College in St. Augustine, Florida, and I bought a 16-foot stump knocker. It's like a flat spotter kind of down there my senior year. And any day, like, the waves weren't good, and I would go fishing. And the red fishing there and, like, sheep's head and all that it's just so much easier, and there's so many more spots, and they got mullet runs there and this and that. So ever since then, I've been, like, fixated on catching slot reds, but we just don't have them here. Mm-hmm. But I know Chris Field's I haven't had the time to go look at it and try it out or scout it out or whatever. But he caught one back there. That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's badass.
Man, you reminded me of a trip we went on. We took Jeffrey down to Isla Morada for his 21st birthday, and we were fishing the flats with bamboo charters. And I think it was Mark Bellinger took us out. And we went way out. You know how it's beautiful, clear water out there. I mean, we went out for about, an hour and a half ride. And he pulls us up to this real murky water. And before we even threw a rod in, he's like, I'm going to tell you guys something. Whatever you do not put your hand in this water. He said, I don't care if you think it's for a couple seconds to wash your hand, wash some slime off your hand, trying to grab a fish, do not put your hand in the water.
Tarpon?
And I was like, why is that? He's like, there's shark in here, and they've, grown accustomed to going after fish and splashes by the boat. So we like to get our fish in quick so they don't get trained to come after things by the boat. And he said a couple of years ago there was a group of people out there, and they had get a helicopter because somebody stuck their hand in for a minute, thought they were going to be okay, and shark came up and took their hand off. Damn. I was like, that's crazy. So we start fishing, man. We're catching snook. We're catching Jack Crevalles. I always get the names wrong. All those fish down there, but snook, and then a tarpon hit my rod, and it was a smaller one, and it starts jetting out from the boat. Boom! Big old shark just takes it right off.
No way.
It was cool, man. It was one of them really cool trips. We caught all kinds of different fish. And that's what I like about Florida, man. You can catch so many different types of fish.
Yeah, it's like if you have the slightest bit of idea of what you're doing, like you can catch fish here, and it's cool. Like even if you don't, like you're talking about the clear water. I mean, catch a bunch of flounder up here, but it's just murky ass water. It's never really clear and just drifting for flounder. Like unless you have the, means to be able to go offshore, that's different. But down there inshore, it's just so much more accessible to people. It's
we
cool.
were casting lures, I think, is what
Really?
we were doing. Yeah,
Nice.
which is awesome.
That's
I love
cool.
doing that.
Yeah.
Like I'll sit there and have some bait in the water, but I love activity.
Yeah, active fishing. That's badass.
Yeah, I go out in the bay a little bit and do some flounder fishing, but I don't know. It seems like you see these doormats, and I think they're catching them offshore.
Yeah, they're at wrecks. Like before I figured out like the whole wreck thing, like years ago, I'd see them like, where the hell are these guys catching?
Yeah.
Like, they're going
Catching
out
little dinky ass flounders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do too much. I like going out and fishing some ponds for some freshwater, just catching bass.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, take my boy out there and have a little fun catching, because it's more catching than fishing.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's always nice.
That's cool.
So
I've always loved bass fishing, man. I think that's my favorite type of fishing.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One time I was taking Jeffrey, and we put the minnow bucket out just to have some bait. Normally we'll fish with lures, but he was young and we were going to get some bait. Didn't get no minnows, but we got a big old eel, right? And I'm like, we'll take it. We'll see what happens with that eel, And I was in the back of the boat, and he was in the front, and we had fished this pond all day long for like 4 hours, and I had the eel out the whole time with the bobber, no bites, and it was getting close to sunset, and I reeled that eel in, just stabbed him up a little bit, got some blood going, threw him back out, and I swear within like 20, 30 minutes that bobber was down. And Jeffrey's like, bobber down. So I get the rod, reel it in, and I'm like, get the net. That's like the favorite thing, man. You gotta be, get the net. So he's like, don't force it. It was like a bunch of commentary going on here. But he netted it, and we got this thing in the boat, and it's just, there's a picture of me holding this big old bass with a big slimy eel hanging out his mouth.
Yeah.
It was huge, man. I think it was one of the biggest ones I ever caught. It was
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
Nice.
Yeah, one of my one of my favorite fishing stories is I took my boy. We were just at this little dinky pond. I mean, it's a legitimately small pond, and he's out there using one of those little Spider-Man reels, or the rods, real short little kid rod. He's probably only, I don't know, maybe 5 at the time, and he's over there yelling at me, Dad, I got something. And I think I was distracted looking at something or on my phone or something. I can't remember what I was doing, but I wasn't paying attention. And he's over there hooping and hollering, and I finally, look down, and I'm like, oh my goodness. It's like bent over, he's reeling this thing, and I run over there, and he pulls in this giant, I mean, at the time, it was giant for him, that little dinky rod, but it was so funny, the whole experience from him reeling that thing in, and me panicking, looking at it, and I'm like, those are memories, though, that just last a lifetime.
Isn't that the coolest, man, when your kids are catching fish?
Lasts a lifetime. And
it's so cool, man.
He's holding up this bass, and he's only, like I said, 5 at the time. It's like half the distance him from the ground, and he's holding it. Those are just some awesome stories.
Yeah, I remember memories. The first bass both of my boys caught at different times, like just that memory is like something you'll never forget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you look back on it, man. I just saw my phone made one of those little videos, like, the memory videos.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, it goes so fast. You got to just really soak it up and and be present, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's the other thing to it with the fishing thing. Like I was distracted. I don't remember what I was doing. It's a nice reminder to just be present, for me. So I know I'm guilty of being there but not always present. So it's a nice reminder to pay attention. So I was lucky to look over and see it and give them some help to see that thing, because every now and then they'll jump off the hook or something, and it's just a wonder, so.
Or they're
That's
like,
fun.
oh, I got one. How many times has it been like the boy that cried wolf?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
dude.
Like, oh, I got one. They're reeling in like,
It's a stick.
yeah, some shit. I'm like, oh gosh. But
But-
Birdie's got pretty good. Like he knows if he's snagged or if he has a fish now, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lot of like we were talking about with Hunter yesterday, how Kyle brought Carter from such a young age,
Mm-hmm.
like bringing those kids. And a lot of people don't want to bring their kids fishing because it's such a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Like I remember bringing Birdie from 3 and now he's 6. The first 2 years, it was like almost miserable. Like
Mm-hmm.
not miserable. You're having fun. You're with your kid, but I mean, they want to do everything, but they don't know how to do everything. Hey, can I help you? No, I don't need help.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to cast it, getting entangled, can't cast it, can't flip the bail. But going through all that and just sacrificing not being able to really fish at all and helping them, now it's like they know how to do it completely. You know what I mean? And just making that sacrifice. So I think a lot of people stray away from that because they don't want to sacrifice their time to fish or whatever. But your kid will just be able to do it way quicker with you.
Yeah, but I think you can probably attest to it. Like, that's the only thing that matters, though. Is like when you have a kid, I'm guilty of it too. Like when I'm out there, I'll get frustrated or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I've in the past like year, I'm like, this is what it's for. You know what I mean? Like it's there's no reason to get all flustered, and the only thing that matters right now is your kid's on the boat with you, and even if you're not catching, you're still with your kid, making memories.
They learn something, even if they learn something small every single time. And
Yeah.
I used to think about it this way. All I got to do is engage them in the activity, so they want to come back next time. Mm-hmm. And if that means it's a short trip, no problem. Mm-hmm. Like I said, when I went out there as a kid, we were out there all day. But when I started taking my kids on these fishing and hunting trips, I would wait for different like words to come across, like, Dad, what time is it? And I'm like, okay, they're getting cold, because they don't want to say, Dad, let's go in. I'm like, all right, we're gonna hunt, another half an hour, and then we're gonna get some breakfast. So didn't force them to do anything. Always wanted them to, be comfortable, and I'd push them a little bit, but not to the point where it made it miserable for them. And good story, like a couple summers ago, my nephew we were at a campground, and I had to work, so I could only go up there one night, and I had to go back to work. Well, he was like, can you take me fishing? I'm like, yeah, I'll take you fishing, but before we go, I got to teach you how to do the fisherman's knot. And he's like, oh, I don't want to do it. I'm like, you got to, man. You got to. I'm like, just do me a favor and tie this knot 3 or 4 times in a row. And when you do that, I'll take you fishing. And he fought me for a little bit, but then he finally figured it out and got it.
How old is he?
He was probably like 11 at the time or something like that. And, I knew I wasn't going to be there. So we went fishing that night, and then they called me the next day. They're like, Ethan's at the pond fishing all week long, all by himself, switching lures, doing all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, okay, that was a win. He didn't
Cool,
like
man.
the fact that he had to sit there and do it because he didn't want to. But at the end of the day, he put the time in and figured it out, and now he's loving fishing. That's all he does. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Do you think that there's because you're older than us, but you have older kids, but I look at like some of the stuff that I do with my kids, and I feel like, do you think that like that's a generational thing though, like where you grew up and your dad could take you out duck hunting and like you were just tougher, or do you think it's like a learned thing, like where kids, like my kids would probably be like, this sucks, I'm never doing it again if I pushed it, It's like, do you think over time we just kind of, or is it, I don't know, like just
I don't know,
how you
man.
grow
I think
up?
everybody's different. You know what I mean? I try to read different situations with the people that are there to figure out what's right. And it wasn't long where my kids wanted to stay out all day. You know what I mean? I just wanted to make sure that in the beginning I wasn't like pushing them too much, too hard to disengage them from the sport. And I think that's important. I talked to my uncle, like he's training our grandson now, and that's how he started with him, and now he's eat up with it too. So when they're young, you just got to be careful not to like over push them. some people may disagree with me and say, no, I'm taking them out, they're staying all day, whatever. But if they're having a good time, you're going to turn them into great hunters or great people, whatever you want. But the minute they don't like it for some reason, it might be hard to get them back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a delicate line there too, because you want to push them just a little bit, but not over that line, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I just wondered, because like growing up in the 90s, like it was just whatever for me. I'm like, well, I wanted it. Like not so much hunting, but like whatever it is that I wanted, like I would just fantasize about it and want it, and I couldn't do it, say. But when I got the opportunity to do it, I was all in. But I don't know, just looking at it generationally, it's like I don't know if they're just something learned behavior or what, But
yeah, kids are definitely different today with all the technology and stuff. Google Earth, man, stop finding my honey holes. But I think back in the 80s and 90s, you're out riding bikes all day long. Nowadays you get locked in the house looking at tech.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I like to do is get people back out, get them out of the tech. Turn that phone off and witness the outdoors. It's tougher today because you just get distracted and locked into it.
Yeah, the iPad thing is crazy.
It's easy to do, man. You just check the weather and instantly you're like finding yourself scrolling Instagram like, damn, dude, how did I just do that, dude?
Yeah.
I was literally
Pulls you
checking
in,
the weather,
don't
dude.
But so many kids have these iPads from like grade school.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what they work with, and I'm sure some of them get sent home. But we don't give he doesn't have an iPad. My oldest, unless we're on like a 2-hour car ride or more, he can watch a movie. But other than that, I know certain people like their kids get home from school and they don't even ask. They know where their iPad is. They just grab it and go to the room, do whatever with. So yeah, it's definitely different. Like you're saying, riding bikes and just getting into somewhat trouble, playing pickup football or whatever in the neighborhood. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
So,
It's
but
crazy.
there's also different pros to it too. A lot of these kids can use the phone better than my dad can. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I'm hard on them, but at the same time, I look at some of the stuff that they learn on there too, and I'm like, damn, dude, how did you know how to do that?
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's like, it's kind of like a weird thing where it's like, it's good and it's bad, Like,
yeah,
when they know stuff or they're learning something educational on YouTube or watching Outdoor Boys or something, it's like, damn, dude. Like, my kid was talking about the other day, starting a fire with lint and like, I don't know, he was using like a sort of flint stick.
Yeah.
And was all excited to try it.
Brody's talking about that the other day
loving
too.
it, dude. And I'm like,
I mean, he doesn't know what's going on, but he's like, he makes a fire, like scraping something like this. You know what I mean? Because he's watching Outdoor Boys on the TV and stuff, and that's a cool show, though.
yeah, it is.
I might honestly like change my YouTube just so he can only watch Outdoor Boys, because then you get this random shit that pops up, and you're like, geez, what is this?
Well, from a learning perspective, though, if you think about it, YouTube, if you're using it for the right things,
Yeah.
the kids,
Good.
I'd watch them get into something and they'd be inquisitive about, like maybe it's setting up duck spreads, duck decoy spreads. They'd be on YouTube, like figuring it out.
Yeah.
And they'd tell me about all these different guys, like all across the country and how they set up their duck decoy
Yeah,
spreads.
it's wild.
So you can learn a lot if you embrace it and use it the right way. It's just probably don't overuse it too much,
Yeah.
So y'all got a guitar in here.
Hell yeah, we do, dude. We brought it up
Rip
here.
hot.
We brought it up here for a
hot.
guest, and he never did play it, but I'm excited to hear you play something.
All right. Let's see if I can manage this chord. All right. This is a song about my friend Mardell Bill I keep talking about.
Hell yeah. Is he still around?
No, he passed away.
Damn. R.I.P. Mardell Bill.
He was born at night, but not last night yet. Yeah, homeboy Bill that knows how to chill. Quit school for recess, never had time to play. He partied all night, hunts all day. Time to rake up the pits and start talking shit, yeah. Go to Puff Puff Pass, drop a 6-pack on ass. Chilling on the porch, we broke out the Blue Jam. Hot mama's in the house. Like it is, oh yeah. Going down to Goose Creek, wearing my dreadlocks. Went outside with like get my Marlboro box.
Hell yeah, dude.
That was
Hell
sick.
yeah, dude. Mardell Bill sounds
Mardell
like a
Bill.
total
Let's
badass,
go.
dude.
He's wild, man.
Damn.
That's sweet.
Dude, he sounds like a freaking savage.
He used to be, he would call something out, right? But we went fishing. We were hanging out for a bonfire in Mardella, and it was back by Barron Creek, February. And he's like, dude, I'm bringing my fishing rod, man. I'm going to catch a fish. I'm like, you ain't catching nothing in February, dude. He's like, I'm going to catch the biggest fish you ever seen, hot. You watch, and he threw the lure, threw the bait in there or whatever, and we're sitting there around a campfire for like 2 hours. Next thing you know, this rod's going off, dude. He's like, I told you. And he's over there wearing them wool winter hats with a sweatshirt on, reeling this sucker in, reeling it in. Next thing you know, giant carp. Like, who would have thought he'd catch a carp out of Barron Creek in February? Like, that's the kind of crazy shit he would pull off, man.
That's cool.
Talk about y'all, sir. He's hanging out there holding it up in the air. We're taking pictures of it. He's like, y'all, sir.
That's badass, dude.
Vintage y'all, sir.
Yeah, that's some
Hell
vintage
yeah.
y'all, sir shit right
That's
there.
sweet, man.
Dude, I love that. That's how the greatest stories are freaking made, epic. That's awesome.
That's cool though. That makes me think like of your brand, the way it's created. It's so authentic. And I remember like when I started doing collabs with people, I was actually at a bachelor party, Sam Coates' bachelor party with Colin, and I was like telling him about how I did a collab with Dark Seas, and I was like, yeah, I want to start to do collabs with like local, authentic people. And there's so many people like lost in the apparel space that are just doing like name drop logos. And I try to take pride in my logos and being authentic, creating them all in my head, and never doing name drop stuff. And I was talking to him, and I was like, dude, I got to do one with your dad. Because if anyone that's met you, you know what I mean? I was explaining you to Ben, and I was like, he's like, I don't know what to expect. And I'm like, think of life of the party, like having fun. That's him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it was, you're one of the brands and local people that I was like, I got to do one with. So yeah, it's
Get
cool,
a few more naturals in me and see where it goes.
I think it's killer. You just busted out the guitar and played for us, man. That's killer. Yeah, that's one thing I was not gifted with was any kind of musical talent. I guess maybe it's one of those things where I could just try harder, like shooting a bow, for sure. But
I feel like from a young age now, it's like you got to put so much in it to learn a guitar.
I know. You know what's killer is my boy's. He's only 10, but he actually has a used guitar, and he's naturally good at it.
Really?
Even
That's sweet.
we had him in some guitar lessons locally, and even the instructor was like, "Hey, dude, like you're pretty good. You should stick with this."
Yeah.
That's why it's cool to have an instrument laying around the house when you have little kids.
Mm-hmm.
See who's going to be attached to it or not.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I gave it to different instruments to all my kids just to see. And back in Oregon, we'd have a drum set where the dining room table should be. And Jeffrey was funny, man. He was probably 3 years old. And we put Black Sabbath on, and he'd just go nuts, man. He'd run around the living room like it was a mosh pit. Nobody even showed him how to run around in a mosh pit. It was like, this is just in his blood, Then he'd get on the drums and just put the drumsticks in the air and like hit them down and everything. And like he's been a rock and roller since a little kid. And
That's cool, man.
he's the one that picked up the guitar, and he's way better than me. Like I can strum some chords, but he can play like all the licks to Simple Man all the way through, and it's like, wow, dude. Or lots of other classic rock songs, whatever his ear hears that he wants to play, he can listen to it and figure out. Like I can't do that. I got to read tab and practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy how other kids will not be interested or not have the ear for it, but everybody's different. It's crazy. One kid might be like super awesome at an instrument, but you may not know it if you don't leave it out for them to be exposed to it.
Yeah, it keeps reminding me. I have like a little drum set for my kids, but I have like a actual drum set in the attic in my parents' house with a double bass pedal, like all that stuff. I've been saying for years, like I need to bring it down.
Go bust it out.
I just don't know where I'm going to put it, but.
Put it right in the middle of his bedroom, dude. He'd be pumped.
Yeah, he would be pumped.
Yeah, dude, every little kid would be pumped.
Yeah.
We built a jam room for the barn door, man. It's soundproof, so we can go in there and rock out, dude. Full loudness, and April could be sleeping.
Really? That's cool. Yeah. That's badass. What'd you guys use for soundproofing, like installation?
I wish I knew the names of it, but it's like this black matting stuff, and there's a different type of bat installation, I think, in there. So it was like some gray stuff and the black matting thing, and then you throw the drywall up there. And it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, she's not far away, and I'm cranking guitar, and I got PAs and drums and. Like, do you hear anything? Nope.
Yeah.
Like, great.
That's badass. Yeah. I only asked because I actually had to put like rock wool in here, like just for the echoing and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It sounds great in here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think after doing it, the walls probably whatever. It doesn't matter. But I did that real thick rock wool stuff.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's why I was asking about it.
It's rock wool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Real dense.
Yep.
Insulation. That's killer, man. Yeah, I'll have to check out your barn though, dude. I'd like to see it just to see how you designed it, and I love all that creativity that goes into that stuff.
My wife's the designer, man. She was the project manager, the designer. Like, she's all over HGTV, cool. And she's a pro at it now. Like, she worked with the architect to actually lay out the whole house from the external and the rooms and everything, and then she came up with all the interior design, which is really cool. It's like a farmhouse type of deal on the inside, and I mean. Colin helped build it and everything, but yeah, it's pretty cool. You got to come over and see it.
Yeah,
just walk around.
That's killer.
You ever do like I know you do some parties every now and then, but you ever do like I've been thinking about doing a season kickoff, like hunting season kickoff at my shop or something. You ever do anything like that?
You should do the kickoff, and I'll do the wild game party at the end of the season after the season's over.
Yeah.
We'll partner.
That'd be cool.
That'd be sweet.
I did a wild game years ago when I was living in Berlin, Henry's Mill, and we had a good amount of people come over. And I swear, people brought out their best game when it came to recipes and dishes.
Yeah.
Like, it was awesome. I tasted stuff I've never tasted before. Colin just got back from Oklahoma. They had Sandhill Crane, and I smoked it on the grill, and I was going around giving it out to people, and they were raving about it. The ribeye, the sky. I mean,
so were they cooking it before, or were they cooking it there? Kind of like
some people had to heat it up. Some people had crock pots. You know, some people just cooked some stuff right there.
That's cool.
But so many great deer meat meals, duck meals. I mean,
that's badass.
Oysters.
Making my brain. That's cool,
dude. Let's do a big wild game party.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool.
100% do that, dude.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, there's people that came that don't even hunt, and they were like, "When are you going to have that party again?" Because I tasted some really good food.
Yeah,
that's badass.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about it like that.
It's been on my list to do, but we've been busy building shit in the last couple of years. So I think now that we're kind of settling in, this maybe this February would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool after hunting season.
Yeah,
badass.
I love that.
Yeah,
you think about doing a kickoff party?
I've always thought about it, or like a opening day to rifle or youth day, like having like a breakfast early in the morning. But I don't know who's gonna really come in before. Maybe I could just have like a youth day, like a free youth day tournament. People just come and give out like gift cards to the top 3 kids or whatever, and then have a big breakfast for everyone. I think that'd be cool.
I think it's great that you do all those different events. Like you got the turkey tournaments, you got the deer tournaments. If you do something for Youth Day, let me know. Man,
I do a Youth Day turkey tournament, but I haven't done like a deer. I need to do that.
Yeah, man, and I'll throw in some hats or something.
That'd be cool.
Be cool to.
Yeah, I think it's lost nowadays. Like when you were growing up, I'm sure you'd like checking deer at a station and this.
Oh,
and that.
yeah.
And I really try to bring that back, like letting the people be a part of it and really creating that community. I think that's a big thing that we don't have, and I know we've talked about it in the past, but it's huge.
The deer checking station was cool. I mean,
yeah,
it's nice that you don't have to go to them anymore, but still, you're going there and everybody's bringing in their deer. Like that was the cool part of it. It's like, wow, look at this, man. Go around, look at everybody's deer they shot. You know,
yeah.
Even if you didn't kill that day, you know, it's like kind of probably something you just roll in there and hang out and see your buddies bringing in stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I never got to have any of that experience, but I do remember like growing up in it. seeing people doing it or high school buddies that were into that. So, but it's kind of faded away.
Yeah.
I heard a really cool story. I was hanging out in Rumbly, and I took some buddies after a duck hunt down there, and we're sitting, had a couple beers, and we're getting lunch, and there was a older gentleman at the bar who heard us talking, and he was asking us where we hunt because it sounded familiar to him. We were telling him, and he's like, back in, I think it was 1983, he said, I shot the first sick deer in Somerset County. Damn. And he showed me the article. We pulled it up on the phone. I'm like, man, that's really cool. And I'm like, how did it get in the paper? And I forgot that, well, he's like, you had to check them in back then. So the DNR saw that I had a sick deer shot in Somerset County. And they told me it was the first one ever checked in Somerset County. Wow. I'm like, how cool is that?
That's cool.
That is cool.
So it's amazing who you meet on the Eastern Shore. He was like, what are y'all's name again? I said, well, if you forget our names, call us Hot, because that's what we call everybody. Hot. Right? And, where we got that from was we worked in a warehouse in Salisbury in college, and Roger used to work the counter, and he'd be like, CRW Roger. We're like, hey, Hot, and we're like, hey, what's up, Hot? So everybody calling each other Hot. But anyway, this guy's like, Hot. He's like, that's what the Deal Island crabbers call each other. I'm like, I had no idea if that's true or not, but that would be cool because it's like connecting dots of things we say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I want to go to Deal Island and talk to some crabbers to see if they.
Yeah, you tell them Hot, they'll be like, yo.
What's up, Hot?
Relax. Hey, what are you trying to do here, man?
But that Eastern Shore culture, man, is like something I'm very interested in learning about. And I thought that was really cool. And then he proceeds to tell us this other story. He said, back in the day, out in Rumbly, off Tangier Sound, all the crabbers were getting harassed by this big-ass bull shark. And what would happen is they'd pull in their pots and throw the old bait over, and he was going after all this old bait, and they started getting irritated by it. So him and his buddy go out, and they put like 3 rods on the back, 2 with big reels, 1 with a small reel, and they're trolling around all the crab pots with crab bait on the back, seeing what will happen. And sure enough, this thing comes up and hits the small reel.
I was about to say the small reel. Definitely got hit.
The small reel, right? So they're fighting this thing for, I don't know, 2-3 hours, whatever. And they get up to the boat. I'm like, what'd you do when it got to the boat? He's like, hit it with the 357 Magnum.
Nice.
And then I was like, man, that's a crazy story. And he's like, the picture's right over there on the wall. It's right in the pit and pub down there.
Really?
Cool.
Oh, yeah, man. It was cool as shit.
That's badass.
It was way back in the day.
Hell yeah.
There's some badasses down here on the Eastern Shore, man. You hear some cool stories.
Dude, those watermen are no joke, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just think about that when we're talking to a lot of people on here, but the Tangier, that and also Hooper's Island and stuff, like that area, they've been doing that their whole lives. They've grown up on the water. They've grown up on a boat. They're like tough, strong, pulling pots and all that. I'm like, there's probably some people down there. We need to get on the podcast.
It's hard work, man.
Yeah.
It's hard work pulling pots. I pulled pots for just a couple different times. I got a LCC license, so we did it one summer. Those things get stinky, dirty. If you scratch your arm on them, you're cutting yourself open. There's sharp edges all over them and stuff. But yeah, it's hard work, man. Gotta appreciate the crabbers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've met a few of them out there, man. It seems they're super cool. I actually messaged one. He lives over here next to us. I know he's a commercial guy, and I was like, hey, we're just recreational crabbers. We got these little pull pots, but I was like, it seems like everywhere we're gonna crab, there's pots everywhere. It's littered. So I was like, we're gonna be within 100 feet, or like it seems like everywhere, So I was like, is there any kind of like unwritten rules or anything we're gonna make anybody mad? And he was like, dude, we don't care. He's like, put your pot right on top of my pot. He's like, you can't take enough. Like we're totally cool. And he said everyone around here in our area is super cool. And so I was kind of confident with it. So we went out there and we were crabbing, and a couple guys come up to see how we're doing. They're like, dude, can you guys have females on there? Well, I got a whole bushel over here. I'm like, well, if we could take them, I would, but I guess for recreational, we can't harvest females. So I didn't accept them, but it was cool. All the guys around here are super cool, dude. So I don't know. The water culture around here is something that I just love it. So
Me too.
I'm new to it too. Like I'm not born and raised here. So I've only lived here for probably 15 years now, and just slowly finding my tribe and my my area, So I met cool people, and crabbing's new to me, within the past. I mean, I was doing it in 2013 by myself, but now I got my boy out there. He's doing it with me and pulling pots and whatnot. So I'm still learning as I go.
I love going out on trout line trips, man. I just took some buddies from college last weekend, and we had a blast. We went down, ran a 600-foot trout line. They helped me bait it up the night before. It's a whole experience, right? Cool. Next day, you go out, you put it out, and run it. And I mean, I got different playlists on the jukebox on the boat, right?
I'm sure you do.
We'll put different ones on every run to see which ones attract the crabs. Sometimes it's the OG rap. Sometimes it's the grunge music. Other times it's country. But we just have a blast, man. And some of those runs we got on a 600-foot trot line. I think one of our best runs was like 18 nice keepers out of a 600-footer. And we got one that day, and there were some big ones, man. We ran close to the channel. We got some big ones, and they were just having a blast. A lot of them hadn't gone before, so I like seeing that too.
That's cool.
And I think we stopped early. We didn't even get a full bushel. We had plenty of crabs for all of us to eat. Went home and had a huge crab feast and just had a good time. It's a whole day experience,
That's the best. Bringing home your own crabs.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I've seen some giants, too, we pulled out of there. And I'm like, dude, we show my kid that. I'm like, dude, we could never get that at the store. Like, that's something you just don't see.
And big old Jimmy's.
Oh, man.
Rusty bottom boys.
Incredible. I love that stuff, dude.
That's cool.
And it's like, it's like fishing. You come home with a catch, I mean, you get to sit there and eat it. So.
Yeah.
And it's a family thing too, where the whole family gets to enjoy your catch. So that is badass to me, dude.
Oh,
That's one of those. I love that stuff.
That's probably my favorite thing to do is go crabbing.
I thought about doing the trout line because I hear that that's like the way to get crabs. But they say, well, I've with me starting out here, I did the crab pots because they were available, and I didn't really know how a trout line worked. But now I know how they work and whatnot. But they say you are more successful with the trout line, but the pots seem to be more fun for kids. So
Depends. Like if you have commercial pots, they're easy, quick, and efficient. You throw them out there. You could probably run 25 pots, get a 3/4 bushel in the right spot. And you're done in an hour and 10 minutes. You throw the pots back in the water. Trout line is a lot of work. You bait it up, and then you got to put it out. Got to fish it, and then you pull it back in. Either pull off all the baits or throw them in the freezer if they're not done. But, it's just trout line's a lot of work. For me, like those little pool pots,
that's what I have.
Those are fun for kids too. Like I think that's probably pretty easy for kids, and I went out with Mardell and Mike the other day, this was a year ago or something, and he had 27 pool pots, and I had a 600-foot trout line, and we were like, okay, let's see who can get a bushel first.
Hell yeah. That's cool.
And we both got a bushel like the same time.
Really?
It was crazy, yeah. Like we pulled over to like take a break, and he was across the other side of the river, and then he came by, and he's like, I said, what do you got? And he's like, got a full bushel hot. I'm like, me too hot.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
But it's cool, man. Like those for the kids, those little pool pots are cool.
I just like it because it's more, well, not more, but like we can set them in different areas, and then like we'll set some over here, and then we'll take the boat to like, fly over there, check them, come over here, check them. It's like more, like you were saying with the fishing, it's like more interactive with the boat moving and stuff. So I don't know. And then he's over the side, like pulling the buoy and pulling it up to see what he's got. It's fun to watch. So.
Cool.
For the little kids, what I've done before is I'll take hand lines and throw them over the boat and let the little kids pull up the hand lines. If you know a good spot where you're going to get a lot of crabs, that's an easy way to do it if they're real little. Then you go up to the pool pots and then get them on the trot line. When I first fished a trot line, man, I was blown away. I'm like, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
It's simple.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like you said, it is some prep work, though.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like once you get the mechanics down and like you get your weights and you do it right and get it nice and snug and whatnot. I've just watched videos of people doing it, but it seems like that's the way to do it. And you got your dip net down there, catching them.
Oh, yeah.
Pulling them as soon as they come out of the water.
Sometimes it's so fast. Like I crack up. Like most of the time I'll ride the boat and people dip, but it'll go so fast. And the baits are like 10 feet apart, so you got some time, but people can't keep up with them, and they're like going nuts. And I'm like, this is the best. This is what I want to see.
That's cool.
Yeah, you're doing crabbing.
I've been trot lining with my with my brother when I was younger, but other than that, I don't know, nothing crazy.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy on here. I think it was Rob's podcast, and he was saying that like one of the spots that we were crabbing at is like a, I don't know. We were doing it because it's shallow there, but I didn't realize it's like a wastewater release area.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I learned that on here. Like I was doing it because it's like
Put some extra vinegar in that steam pot.
yeah. I'll say we haven't died yet, but I just thought that was interesting. I was like, well, I guess I won't be doing that anymore. Not in that location. But yeah, we love that stuff, man. I used to do it back in the day. I had a 14-foot skiff, about the same as what I have now, but it was a little 40-horse Johnson on there, and I was just trying to be an Eastern Shore. Actually, that was only a few years after living here, and I'm like, I just want to fit in and do this water stuff, So it was fun, kind of self-taught. So,
Oh yeah.
is there any hope to grow your brand?
Yeah, I think so. Like I'm pretty busy with work, but what I'd like to do is, do more with it as I get closer to retirement. I'm hoping to retire in 5 years, and slowly build it when I have time. And what I'd like to do in the future is, if it turns a profit, donate it back to youth outdoor education.
Yeah, I was
think
going to
that would be
ask you
cool.
on that, because I remember when you started, that was like a thought process about it as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think, I could partner with local organizations. I always see like youth fishing tournaments, like what you're doing. I'd like to partner with you, like how can we, be a part of something cool? Like right now we do sponsor the Tangier Classic every year, and it started out really small, and I'm trying to grow the, sponsorship dollars every year, even if we're not making any kind of profit on that business. But it's a good thing to be a part of. You guys know what it's all about? Like they sponsor
like one cause a year, one kid,
child,
right?
one kid who's got some medical and health issues, and it's a really good cause, man.
Yeah.
My kids fish the tournament, and I try to get out there and be there with, like the Saturday night we went last year, and it was really cool celebration. But it's a good local fishing tournament out of the Tangier Sound, so that's what I like to do, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Let's see. First pintail. This is a good story. I was hunting Astig with Gidge, and I hadn't shot a pintail my whole life, and this is probably only a few years ago, right? And we had 2 beautiful Drake pintails land right in our decoys, and I'm just like giddy. I'm like, oh yeah, I got my gun up. He's got his gun up, and he's like, you get the one on the left, I'll get the one on the right. And I'm looking at the one I want to shoot, and I'm thinking I'm shooting the one on the left, but I'm getting ready to squeeze the trigger, and he goes boom, and I see the one I'm trying to shoot go down, and then the other one to the left that I didn't see gets flying up, and I shot it and missed it. I'm like, are you shitting me? I'm like, you shot the one I was. He's like, no, I told you to shoot the one on the left. Like, he was right, I was wrong.
Yeah.
But I was just so excited, I wasn't even thinking right. So I think I killed a hen. I wound up killing a hen. I didn't kill the Drake.
Damn.
I was pissed.
Oh man.
But I think a Drake did come in later. I might have got it. I can't remember, but
Yeah.
it was one of them crazy, stories like that.
Yeah.
But
you shoot this, I shoot that. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
never.
we try to get it right, but in the heat of the moment, things can go wrong.
You got left, is what happened.
I
You
should have
weren't
got right, and I got left.
Do you do any duck hunting down there on Astig? Are those public blinds down there?
There's areas and stuff.
Oh, okay.
but, yeah.
Well, we don't have to get into it. I was just
Yeah.
curious if you did any.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything.
Little bit.
I don't know anything about it. So.
Yeah, no, there's some spots. Really, you got to get weather here.
It's all about the weather.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I only have so many days to go with everything I have going on, so I don't really.
I wish we had Sunday hunting in Maryland.
You do now. Not on Astig, but I don't know about waterfowl.
Waterfowl, we don't.
Okay, it's
We've
till
got-
like 12:30 year round for deer now.
Yeah, we have deer until 12:30.
It's like 10.
Is it just private property or public?
Not. I don't know. I don't want to be freaking
Yeah, I don't know enough about it.
beaten by the Facebook or whatever.
Oh yeah, we're
Call.
Yeah.
we don't want to
for
expose
saying,
to
something,
anything.
for saying something wrong.
Dude,
but-
as soon as I said that, I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have asked.
oh, that one.
Yeah, well, I just get in that moment, like just hanging out, just BSing. That,
Yeah.
that's
We're
why.
not-
That's
yeah.
why I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, like waterfowl would be cool on Sundays.
Yeah, it would. I don't really mind it though. Like, I don't have a lot of days to hunt compared to a lot of people. So when I see like the high school or college kid that can go every single day, and they won't let a spot rest, and then maybe I can hunt Monday, and it gives that day rest, I'm like, that's cool. But I understand. I think it's Sunday hunting. People would probably be pissed that I say that.
Well,
it is what
I
it
don't
is. It
see
doesn't
that
matter.
side of it. You know, what I was thinking of was like people at work.
Yeah, it's
like
just-
dads
yes.
trying to take their kids, and you know.
You're right. You're completely right. Hold on. Let me dial that back. Don't shoot me, guys. No, you're right. I think it was probably good intentions doing it, like giving it a rest. So it probably does help in some aspects, but at the same time, you're right. A lot of people work that 9 to 5 to where I might only get 2 days out of the week to hunt, but I can pick whether it's a Monday or a Saturday or a Thursday, where these people only can have Saturday or Sunday. So yeah, that makes sense. Got to think all angles.
Yeah, man.
And actually, that one Billy's friend, she works for like the legislation of something. She's fighting for Sunday hunting right now too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were talking about getting her on. So that'd be cool to hear her side of it.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what she's thinking about there. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that cool how you have like your mindset on something and that's your thought process? And then he's like, yeah, but what about it? I'm like, right, I'm an idiot. That's not right.
That's what's nice about conversations. You know?
So hopefully everyone else listens to the
Both
second
sides.
half of that part. You know what I mean? And they'll just shoot this guy in the first part, you know?
Shoot that guy. Yeah. Well, I don't have anything else. You guys got anything else?
I don't think so. I think I got hit most of the stories, so we should
Yeah,
be
man.
pretty good. I appreciate you having me on the show, man.
Dude,
Thank you,
I'm
man.
pumped.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to have you
Yeah.
here. Do you have any social medias you want to shout out or anything?
Y'all, sir, _official Instagram. That's the only main one. That's all you got to see.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to give you a follow.
All right. Thanks, man. Oh, cool, man.
Yeah, man. I
I should have brought y'all a hat, too.
Oh, you're good. Appreciate
Dude,
that.
that's sick. Look at that.
Dog, I didn't know if you had. I don't know.
I don't
which
have
you
this one,
got,
man. I
but,
love it.
Yeah. So
The dog with the duck. Look
Yeah,
at
man,
that.
I figured-
Y'all, sir.
have to get you on here and, like I said, explaining you to Ben was just upbeat guy, life of the party, and you're always cool to converse with. And
Thanks, man.
what you bring to the outdoors and everything, and getting the kids into it is special, man. So be proud of that. That's awesome. That's something.
Appreciate
it's
you,
badass.
man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
for sure.
being here.
Glad to
Thanks.
have you on,
Yep.
dude.
Yeah.
That was fun. I'm glad you're for the outdoors and the youth and things. That's what we got to do, I guess, and we have to too going
Yeah,
forward.
hopefully
it's
I
going to be
can
our role at some point.
Oh,
Be
yeah.
like that one day. I know I said be proud of that, but like I should, you know,
We're
what I
going to
mean?
have to. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah, hope to be.
They're gonna have to
strive
take
for
care
that.
of the lands after we're gone, right?
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
That's what it's all about.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
All right, we're checking out.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
Yep.
Y'all, sir.